Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a while, but we are back with the Meatheads podcast.
Done. Fuck up De Niro, I got a Snyder extended clip, so who wanna play hero? Go bad shit like Ozzy, I was born in the darkness. Oh, you the wolf, so we pull up and you're harmless. So pray to
Burberry scars, stripping Perry on, living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports car.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended.
How's everybody's father feeling today?
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, what do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
That's right, folks. Let us talk to you, baby. Let us talk to you. We're here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Circle of the Man podcast episode. Supposed to be 208, but I put 207. I fucked up. This is how much I was in a rush and 4 hours of sleep. It happens. But this is justice, folks. That's right. This episode is called Poetic Justice because we saw a lot of that this past weekend. But I'm not alone, folks. I'm with my other host. The host is even what I've been seeing with my brother, my son today. He's back in action. This man, I bleed for this man because he bleeds for you guys as well because this man is a Mussolini and Kennedy.
What's up?
He's motherfucking Pepsi.
It is nice to be back. Nice to be back.
Oh man, it is awesome to have you back here in action.
Got that Road Warrior pop.
That's right. No, you got this.
America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
That's
bring it up
he
to this stuff.
He came here to save the day. That's what it is. That's right. Tempo already in the chat. What's going on, Tempo? AEW to lose. So we'll talk about that in a few. So give me a minute. Notorious one. True Tempo, but they're going to do anything with any couple of these dudes or shoving them to the side. So Sammy could get his 777 chance. What's good? What's good, Notorious? Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. But man, let's kick it off because there is a lot of shit that we got to talk about.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
SummerSlam weekend always leads to good wrestling.
Absolutely. And man, let's talk about SummerSlam, baby. But man, new champions crown, the return, of course, of them ones. I know people were excited. I was like, it's okay. I knew it anyway was going to happen. I'm not like that stoked. We knew there was going to happen the storyline. But a lot of things happen here that I just want to vouch for a minute to say, fuck you, Dave Meltzer. I just want to say that clearly. I heard your piece of shit ass criticizing this fucking event. Like, that wasn't like a great wrestling. It was just stories and coming up, right? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
no.
I think his exact quote was, the entire night was just angles.
Yes.
I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, in Angle's story, in wrestling story, I don't know what you wanted.
Thank you. Please preach
like,
the word.
Seriously, I don't know. Honestly, I did not understand that statement. because it's like what? Yeah, they closed out storylines and started new ones. So I do not know what Melcher's bitching about.
Oh my God! So shout out to Matt Ritter, smacking the raw baby. Love you, man. What's going on? And the Redeemer. I know that. Hopefully you're getting
feel
better.
soon.
Feel better. That's why people are watching, listening. He's not here with us today because he is under the weather, but he'll be back next week. Hopefully, he'll be feeling better. But man, yeah, you said the words correctly. See, this is why I fucking hate tribalism, Pepsi Phil.
Yeah,
this motherfucker is what he does of that shit. But when it's AEW, oh my God, it's so awesome. Oh, like if it's something else, so awesome. When it comes, like, what is it that he has against WWE? Like, what is it? What the fuck does he have against it?
Honestly, maybe it's a bad history. Like in the very beginning, I mean, let's face it, WWE doesn't have the cleanest history in the world when it comes to treating its fans. I guess after a while, he just couldn't let it go. I mean, do not get me wrong. I understand where it comes from, but truth be told, this was a very good SummerSlam. Like the storylines got solved. It didn't feel, and honestly, it did the one thing that other SummerSlams didn't do, although probably because it was in Cleveland. Shout out to Cleveland. It was very fast. It didn't drag on. There were not too many like what they call the promo packages. There you go. That's the word, promo packages. So, and honestly, they had done a good enough work leading up to it that I was actually happy with everyone on there because, like, SummerSlam, can go. It feels like 17 hours going through the damn thing. It's like because remember, SummerSlam is supposed to be like a second Mania for them. And that it can drag on. These were solid, tight matches with really good stories. I mean, yeah, I will agree. Some of them may have been obvious. Like you said, like Roman coming back, like Dom, even Damien. But for the most part, everything was wrestled well. The stories were told well, and I actually had fun watching everybody. And and honestly, the only match I was least impressed with, and this has nothing to do with LA Knight, it was Logan Paul, LA Knight.
Richard, see, why? I'm curious now. Well, why? What's going on with that?
It's the same problem I've always had with Logan Paul.
Okay.
He is hella athletic. Mechanically, he knows how to wrestle.
Okay.
But this is one of those, it ain't enough just to show up and do moves. It ain't enough for me. I'll give you a perfect example. I was watching, I'm a big fan of G1 Classic. Here's the thing: you got Goto versus Takeshita as like one of the examples. Now, me and Temple had a conversation about it, but truth be told, in the G1, it wasn't a high. It wasn't a big spot. It had decent spots. Actually, had good spots, but it was a really well told story because they knew it was a big match. The reason being is because it's a bit of a kind of like a backdoor rivalry, a little bit. Mostly because Takeshita from DDT. There's history there between Goto and DDT. So there's a little bit of a backdoor rivalry there. And they sold that, not to mention the fact Takeshita's kind of like the young Thundercat. Goto, not young Lion, a young Thundercat. And the other problem is that
Temple loves you right there. Pepsi Fellini and Kennedy, the cult of the with extra cheese.
But the other story they were telling was Goto's the oldest person in the G1. He's 44 years old.
Yes, correct.
And honestly, as good as he is, people are like, can he go against someone as young as Takeshi, who's basically just the young guy who's going to be their future? So you had that dynamic, and they told that story. And like I said, as good as Goto had a great match, but he looked a little like he definitely looked 44 against a 22-year-old or 27, 28. Not in a bad way, but like in regards to acting, hey.
Well, this is just quite man. This is the first time I ever heard from this man. This is my childhood best friend since I was 5 years old.
Shout out,
Iris! Shout out! Good. I'm glad that you're. Thank you for subscribing. And man, it's been a long time. We'll talk and hit me up and we'll talk more. It's been a long time. Shout out to my boy Iris Chia right there, man. But I appreciate it. Man, go ahead. My apologies.
But like I said, but with Logan Paul and LA Knight did a really good story. He tied it up. he slowed it down, and basically he made it look like every move had to be done in a specific way. Like I said, he has good mechanics, and Logan Paul just looked like a jumping bean all over the place doing. He did, like I said, he did some good spots.
Yes.
But honestly, it was good spots. But the problem is, did he sell the story of them fighting?
That's a good question there.
Did he sell the entire match? Other than, I mean, yeah, he took the hits and took the bumps the way he was supposed to, but did he sell the story of the match? And for me, I thought he did an okay job, but on SummerSlam, everybody was bringing their A game. I thought that one could have been a little bit better, a little bit slower. And like I said, yeah, he did a springboard off the top rope. At this point, how many times have we not seen that from somebody?
That's very true. He's done that plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Saying,
So, like I said, that is the only match I could probably find a criticism for. All the rest of them were good. I mean, even like I said, I know everyone likes giving her shit, but Nia Jax had a solid match against Bayley, and I was happy with that. And she played the monster well.
No, she did. I mean, she did it right. You're right. She played the very monster very well. It was expected, but I know a lot of people wanted to see, Tiffany, Stratton to cash in, but she didn't.
But that was the best part, though, because at one point you weren't sure if she was it, but everybody was thinking the same thing. At the end of that match, everybody was like, Nia better watch her back because nobody trusts Tiffany with that pink case.
No, so and that's what we were waiting for that. We were waiting for that.
Like if he's complaining, like I said, if Meltzer was complaining about that angle, they literally just booked the next pay-per-view they have, or whenever Tiffany decides that whenever they decide to have Tiffany pull that gun. So if that's the angle he's mad at, I don't know what the fuck to tell him.
He was mad about that angle, and he said that the best match was really the Logan and LA Knight.
Of course he did.
Of course, everything else he said.
Because Logan Paul was jumping around like he was in AEW.
Right.
And you know how much I love AEW, but goddamn, it looked like he was trying to audition for AEW.
Yeah, he was.
I realize that might be a harsh thing, but I'm like, but seriously. Well, first of all, I don't like him. But seriously, it looked like he was auditioning for the Young Bucks.
Right? I mean, shit. I think even
not AEW, the Young Bucks themselves. Like he trying to join the Elite.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, but Bronson Reed, God bless him. We all knew he was going to kill Sammy. They've been building that.
Braun Breaker, you mean? Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. I'm sorry, I was thinking someone else. Braun Breaker. And honestly, they've been building that man up for about 3 weeks. Watch him, basically let him kill everybody on the roster. He felt like Adam Pearce is just like, well, I ain't got no choice but to let that man go. So, but either way,
he gave him a build on him. See, as much as I dreaded it, I fully expected Charlotte to come back to beat Nia in a battle of the Queens, win the title, and that where Tiffany cashes in.
That's actually that would be kind of cool, but that'd be kind of weird too.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, that would save the friendship between Nia and Tiffany, which I actually wouldn't mind, because then it'd be that weird energy where like Nia lost to Charlotte, Tiffany cashed in on Charlotte. Now Nia has to watch her best friend with her belt that she never got a chance to reboot for.
Well, look, just for you, Temple, because we love you, Temple. It's for you.
Suck a big old bag of donkey dicks.
There you go. That's for you.
So, but yeah, I mean, see, the Dom and Rhea match was pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. I actually thought it was really good. I like the fact that they literally had, even though Rhea lost, they have her bulking up and actually being a bigger wrestler than you thought. And like someone said it best, I don't know how he did it, but Dom was a heel and had a heel turn.
Yeah, they said it like, oh, it's like the best heel, more of a heel turn. And I'm like,
double heel turn. I like Macho Man even never did. Macho Man, who's the master of it, never did a double heel turn. I mean, how many times has Macho Man turned face and heel back and forth? Dom went heel and then went extra heel.
Oh my God, that is so true. Shout out to Jordan. Thank you so much for being Jordan.
Hey,
what's
Wes,
going on?
I will say I did see footage of Wesley kind of like breaking free of the pack and kicking nuts left and right, literally.
Oh my God. Tell me you were not shocked of that when you saw that.
Honestly, I wasn't, because Wes, like, he needed something to change because he'd been going on that one track, and honestly, it was the same track Carmelo and Trick was on, and they need to break Wesley from that, honestly, because he was starting to go the exact same way they built those two, and I think they wanted Wes to be a little bit different, which actually is a good call because people are already starting to compare him to both of those guys. Which isn't a terrible thing, but at the same time, if he wants to be on his own or at least break out, can't do it in their shadow.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rhea losing was an absolute correct call. You have Rhea when the story is over. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
And honestly, this Terra Twin storyline versus the Judgment Day is a whole lot more compelling than if she won that belt.
Yeah, because honestly, who really did they give her when she won the belt? Like, what was her challenges that she had?
I mean, she had Becky. She had Becky.
I mean, you could say that's the only one, right? But prior to her, who else could we say, honestly? Like, really, like, who really could give her, like, truth
be told, the first time she won the belt, it was Charlotte. And people are hoping that they could be Charlotte with a good comeback. But I think her knee repairs are taking a little bit longer to heal up than we thought. And which honestly, I'm kind of with the rest of them. I actually am waiting for Charlotte. I'm with Justin. I kind of want Charlotte to come back too, just to make a mess of things for a little bit.
What do you say?
Honestly, I don't want that, because I don't want Ethan Page to become a face, because if he does, he's going to be boring. At the very least, because Wesley as a heel is great. Ethan Page as a heel is great. Ethan Page as a face is kind of what? I feel like that's not his wheelhouse per se. I think he likes being a heel, and I think he does a really good job at it. So, but Wesley as NXT title change as a champion, no arguments with that at all.
No, not at all. Let's see. No one is beating Obafemi for that title.
No one is. No, honestly, Obafemi holds that belt. It's going to be at least he's going to have a Braun Breaker style hold on that one.
Let's see. I'm so unsure on Wesley's turn. I get frustrated. I get it. He's frustrated because he's on the losing streak, but the fact that they're turning Wentz release into "you left me alone" story, I'm not sure on that. Okay. I honestly, I'm gonna wait on that because I want to see where it goes.
Yeah,
that's why I haven't even. That one, when I saw that coming, I'm like, I'd rather wait to see how it turns out.
Like I said, me personally, I was getting bored with him too. That's the thing.
I mean, you're right. I mean, he did needed that heel change. I mean, he needed that switch, and this one way to do it. So, I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm not disregarding that. I just want to see how they're gonna book him. That's what I'm curious.
I mean, honestly, truth be told, Obafemi's not losing that belt to any one of those. No. Gunther's not losing that. Gunther's not beating him because you can't have two champions on like that. Makes a little bit of a thing. Josh Alexander, they're not letting their champion lose to Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander is too much of a monster. So that's Wesley. Honestly, the only way Obafemi's losing that belt is if he's going up to the main roster next day. So, I mean, it's possible unless somebody else comes in and replaces him. Who knows?
Yeah, that is very true.
So, like I said, truth be told, we can talk about that with the new recruits coming in. That could be an issue too. Now,
there's a lot of recruits that are coming in.
Even if we don't talk about the tag teams, the individual guys coming in might be something too. So,
oh yeah, definitely. And like with the Rhea and Liv, it was expected. I said it last week when Justin, when we were doing the predictions, there were two scenarios that this could have happened. That could be, that was saying that either Finn or will get involved or Dom will turn, and it did turn out to be Dom. the way he turned. And it was kind of we kind of knew that it was going to happen. So it's fine. And I'm with Justin what he's saying. We have to build that story, because of making, Rhea win, then it's not going to build a story. The story's going to die out. And then seeing Finn Balor turning his back on, Damian Priest as well, versus when losing the belt to Gunther. It is crazy because, now we got something, which we'll get into Raw in a few, but at least we got something that the crowd was now behind him in that matchup. The match was great for me. Well, I wouldn't say it was the best, but it was great because we honestly saw someone who could underestimate Gunther, and that was Damian Priest. And that chop that he was taking, that both of them going out of each other, even Gunther bleeding out. We know he got it from Finn Balor from that Raw episode. That's why his chest was not in a good condition at 100%. Yeah. But seeing over that match, you got two big meaty men that could take it to another level. I think that for me, that's just a preview. I don't know if you feel the same. I think it's a preview.
Truth be told, I watched that and I went, "You son of a bitch! You did the same thing to Bullet Club." That is literally how Bullet Club got found. Got found. I watched that dude. I was like, "Really, man? Really? We going Bullet Club already, Triple H? I know you couldn't get the name, so you gonna have a real one." So I know, but honestly though, I think you were right. And honestly, I think for Finn, this will be a really good thing because it does. He's been needing a good push for a while, and I think his last push, when he got injured, that derailed him. And the problem with that is the old guy, if you got hurt, you had to fight your way back just to bare minimum for him to think about giving you a thing. At this one, they put him in a place right now that, truth be told, his beef with Damian, even though Damian lost, it still looks like Finn's fighting for the world championship.
Yes, that's what it is. Basically, you're right, though.
Yeah, so I actually think that's a real good day. And honestly, it isn't the Judgment Day per se, but the fact that he took over an entire another dark faction, we'll see. It's a weird thing. We'll wait and see. But the way another dark faction like that, where quote unquote there's no leader, although Finn does all their talking, I still have no idea what the hell Carlito's doing.
I don't even know myself.
He was just hanging out. He just hanging out saying the quiet part out loud.
Could he be like a wise man for fucking Judgment Day?
No, he cannot be. Carlito just showing up, eating the food, chilling. I mean, yeah, he helping people cheat every so often, but he just chilling.
Oh man, what's up, Oos? Shout out to the Simone watching. What's going on, Oos? Appreciate you for tuning in.
I don't know, man.
And the broadcast, Tom, the future. Let's go. You're the man.
So, but like I said, that was a good one. So did we get to Drew versus Punk versus Seth, which, as far as I'm concerned, that was a three-way dance.
Please let the people know. Explain that, because
it was the most ridiculous match I have ever seen. I will give them credit. They didn't have Seth screw anyone over. They literally had Punk screw himself over, which is kind of interesting. Especially considering the fact that the weird thing is that everyone's always been like, it's Punk's fault. So the fact they had him screw himself over to lose it and give Drew the win, that was an interesting turn for me. Seth, however, you can kind of make the joke that part of it was just Seth's job was pretty much to kind of add a little bit of fuel to that match to make it a little more dynamic, because we've already seen Drew versus Punk, and having Seth in there, being the quote unquote friction dude, made the match a little bit more interesting. But overall basically that was three personalities in that match, and it was a different kind of three-way dance. Instead, it was just, we were going to build to something else, but they decided to do a little swerve on us, and like I said, Drew versus Punk was still a good match. it was just that was not the ending I expected. I actually thought Punk would come out on top on that one. I thought he would have punched Seth. I think he would have punched Seth in the face, and Seth would have no choice but to give him a 1, 2, 3. And then Seth would turn on him there, and then we have like then like a backlash. We would have Seth versus Punk. When we get to Raw, we can actually discuss the following events.
Oh, absolutely. And what I wasn't asking that. What Jordan's pretty much saying here about the ref cam. What did you think about that? That's something new.
So that's where I think Meltzer gets the angle thing from, because let's face it. Well, no, the thing is, that's a brand new thing, but like from a story perspective, that actually works out well because you have the match right there. You have the ref cam. That's a second way of watching the match. Story gets pushed further, and not a lot of stuff's happening. So it's an interesting thing. I'm not sure I was really on board with it too much, but I will say from the clips I've seen, I can see it being funny and seeing it being entertaining and being like adding an extra little something to the match. Do I think it was necessary? I wouldn't have put it in, but I'm not booking TV.
Yeah, I mean, it was something fresh and new.
Yeah,
I think it's really good for the male side. I don't know about the females because I was saying it on Saturday the watch party. I was like, what about it was like a little hey a chi slip right there or Naga slip right there. They're like, oh, whoa. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get of course the the audiences like the P 1849 intrigue, but you forgot about there's still PG 13 and below a little bit, folks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it may have been an experiment. It may be something they do on a regular. I don't know. I mean, it may be something they're doing. It may be something they're planning for their Netflix era, like they want to add to it.
That's true.
Or what have you. But either way, it was an interesting thing. I don't think it was necessary. But if it was just to pretty much kind of push that Seth versus Punk storyline to kind of like add to it, I think it worked out for what it was.
And let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Punk felt like he had the upper hand for most of the feud, so Drew winning was correct. The bracelet thing was my only grip. I get it. It means a lot to Punk, but making it the whole focus just wasn't it. I can agree with that.
They needed some way to push that. They needed some way to push that rivalry further.
Yeah,
they needed something to do. And honestly, what they would have done was have AJ come in and have Drew take her out, and then you pushed it. But because they couldn't do that, the bracelet is probably the next best thing. Because
I agree.
So I mean, that's why I think the bracelet came into play. And let's face it, they made a big deal about the wristband.
Yeah, I just wish they could have followed what we said, like got in his house, break into his shit, and it made him more like that. Imagine him getting the bracelet right there. Truth
be told, there's a certain level of authenticity I would prefer not to have in wrestling. That's something I don't want to see. Like I said, I know Swerve did it, and honestly, I still doesn't sit right with me, even if it is a work. I mean, a best of 7 series, I don't even think we got the patience for 7. I mean, I can do best of 5, maybe best of 3.
I think I have a best of 5. I don't see best of 7. I think that will kind of end it. It is like let Punk get it back. Then Drew breaks into his house. DBT steals it back.
Yes. I mean, if you want to make it real creepy, just have Drew break in his house and sleep in his bed.
Oh, right. There you go. Like, hey, I'm here, pal. Like, oh my God. And they can do all of that. But did you feel, because a lot of people compared it with this whole SummerSlam 97 type of storytelling. But remember when it was Michaels as a guest referee versus Taker and Bret Hart, and he caused Bret Hart to take the title, and Bret Hart, regained it. It was what he was like 5 times, 6 times at that time already. Do you feel it was similar to that, or do you feel it was like a whole different story?
I think it was a callback, but honestly, it did not go that route. They rightfully so did the callback with the initial idea, but they did a good job of making it a completely different match. I guess the problem I had was it was just it was enough friction in and of itself. Having it do that callback is a little bit much.
Mm-hmm.
Neither Punk nor Drew is the Undertaker or Bret Hart. And the difference between the difference between that match was you got Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and you got the Undertaker. 3 legends who at that time were a legend. And then you got Punk and Drew and Seth, who, while they are very great, didn't have the same gravitas as those 3 did. Not to mention the fact that their match didn't have the same weight as Bret and Undertaker did. There was the belt on the line. All it was just pride. And then honestly, that pride was not enough to push it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Oh, and talk about the main event. I don't know how you felt when you heard, even the crowd was like, oh my God, and he's back. But I just hope Fatu's all right. I hope it's nothing. I know Papa H said it in the post, media. He said, man, he just injured himself. We're still, checking out where it goes, but we're hoping he'll be okay. And because they even said he is them signing Fatu was the greatest decision, and they even said it themselves, a great asset.
So here's the hilarious part about that. Everyone was wondering why did Tama and Jacob get the tag belts? It's because they did. Because here's the thing: if Tam and Tonga got the belts, not only would GOD's name be brought up, but at that point, they would literally, because people are already saying Cody should fight Jacob, not Solo. So if you give him a tag belt, at the very least, that quiets it down a little bit. Give him a belt, and then let Solo Cody happen. Because truth be told, I would rather see Roman versus Jacob Fatu at that one point than see Roman versus Solo.
You know what I thought? I thought that was the segment that I thought was going to happen, but he got hurt, and I think they switched it. So.
Yeah, they had to. Because technically what's supposed to happen was he comes in, and then I think it was a thing where he gets in, he confronts Jacob, either knocks Jacob out and then takes out Solo. And then there's like a small beef between Roman and Jacob before he can get to Solo, which is what I believe the rumors would have been. And honestly, that would have been a great match. That right there would have been a great match. Because then and then you get your Bloodline versus Bloodline Civil War.
Yes.
So we'll see how it goes, though. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, but SummerSlam was solid. SummerSlam was a solid show. I don't give it an A, but I definitely give it a high B.
Okay, no, that's fair. I mean, I'm not saying it's fair because it wasn't like there was like a Mania type of style matches or no. Like I mean, for me, at least it did give at least certain things that we wanted to see, and people like Friday night for him to win the belt. I was happy that he finally got it. He even said in a post conference like it's about time. It's long overdue, and it is true. I mean, this man is pretty much close to my age. I mean, pretty much. Well, he's my age, and so it's just that he needed a belt, and he got a belt. So it's good to see him having that.
And truth be told, he'll probably add more to USA title than Logan Paul ever would. I mean, Logan Paul was great to have it because you had a heel. Heels always make the belts interesting.
Yes.
But I think LA Knight will probably add more to it in regards to like that. Honestly, the way and I'll say it, the way the Miz brought the IC title back to where it was. Right, because honestly, the USA title, I still can't. I mean, I have never gotten over this new USA title, and it looks terrible. And but, I'll be honest with you, I have never liked this the version of the US title. It looks and feels clunky and unwieldy.
Do you feel like I should be like the John Cena type of style again with the spin one, or what do you think?
Neither myself or Adam Copeland like a spinner belt. So, and the US title actually has a little bit of strength to it. So they could have, I don't know, done something better with it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they are, but I think LA Knight could probably put some shine back on it the way they're supposed to.
I hope he does, and I think he will, in my opinion. I mean,
I don't think Roman acknowledged Cody. It was one of those like, I'm gonna see you later kind of situations.
Mm.
So I don't know if I say it was acknowledging. I think it was more like, well, our time will come another time. Basically, is what he was telling. What I saw. So
this is the best thing of Roman was seemingly acknowledged Cody and nodding his head. With the guy who beat the Tribal Chief gets the Tribal Chief approval. I mean, of course. I mean, what if we get War Games match between the Bloodline and with Roman and Jacob facing off, and with Roman winning for his team? I don't know, man. There's a lot of change.
The real question is going to be, how do you get Jimmy and Jay back? How does Roman get Jimmy and Jay back? Because that can't just be 5 minutes.
No, he has to I think take weeks for that.
Yeah, like it can't be a quick fix.
No, I don't think so either. I'm with you. I don't think it's gonna be a quick fix. I think he needs some time to fix that one. He needs to literally go beg him like, hey, come on, guys, come in.
So War Games in Montreal we saw, or was it someplace else?
No, Survivor Series is. Oh no, wait, no, you're right. No, Survivor Series is in Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they haven't announced. They have. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is. Pretty much in Canada.
So that's 2 months. So that's 2 months. They got Backlash, and they could probably do it if they start the quote unquote reclamation after Backlash, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they could. I mean, out of the SummerSlam, so which one can you really say was the match of the night that really got you like, oh yeah, this was a match of the night? Which one can you say?
Oh yeah, that was Gunther and Damian.
For sure.
Yeah, Gunther and Damian was the match of the night because I've been looking forward to both their matches. I was looking for something from Damian in that match.
And I think we did see something from them.
100%. Oh, Damian took it to the. I think that match, Damian found his new gear.
Yes,
and we can talk about that gear when we get the Raw segment. But he found his new gear, and I think he found a rival in Gunther. And it was a good match. Damian took it to a whole nother level. That was definitely a good run for him. Like, he didn't pull out anything really new, but he was hitting harder. He was fighting a little stiffer, and he was bringing the heat with a lot more. So I think he found his voice in that match.
I hear voices in my head. Talk to me.
Speaking
of, right here, Raw, baby. Oh, if you guys didn't see us on, Raw Dogging with Dom and friends with benefits, with the last hour, we were kind of getting emotional in the main event. Of course, we'll save the main event, but the other segments that happened on Raw, like seeing Randy, I know people were not happy.
Really?
I said it.
Wow.
Because the way how the story was told, instead of having Adam Pearce to come out and say, well, Gunther already have a challenger for you, and this man is owed a favor, so here he is, and then this theme song, and boom. But Randy came out, and he pretty much said why he's here. He asked Papa H. He mentioned Papa H's name a lot.
I mean, it's long-term storytelling. Like, he did. Remember, we saw Gunther won by some shenanigans. And we always say Randy deserved a do-over. This is the do-over.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it is a do-over.
So I was like, oh, so they're going to do a real callback in this one. But can we talk about Damian Priest's promo?
Break it down, brother. I want you to preach it.
That is why I said I think that match gave him his voice.
Yep.
Like, I know a bunch of people were like not really sure after he won the belt. I was one of them, like, for the first couple of weeks. Not even weeks, the first couple of weeks, yeah. And honestly, I wasn't sure. And a little slowly, he started to impress me more and more. And I was like, that's my bad on that one. This right here is what I was looking for. This is the punctuation mark on it. Even though he did not have the belt. Yeah, basically. I mean, he had him losing gave him the next run that he needed to do. Like I said, this is a perfect example. Now he's got to think about it. He's got a great run. Him and Rio have a great run against the Judgment Day. That storyline will definitely go for a very long time.
What did he say right there, Flippo? What did he say?
I mean, he's not wrong. Like I said, it was a good match. You saw my technical issues with it. So
yeah,
But yeah, but like I said, Damian Priest had a great. Yo, what's up, Kayla? Hey. So, but he had a great promo, and he looked fired up. He looked ready to go. Also, follow up. God bless Big Head. God bless McDonough. He's still taking L's for the Judgment Day. He gonna take L's for the Judgment Day. He got a belt, and he's still taking L's for the Judgment Day. That man literally took a choke slam using his face. That's how big his head is. They did a choke slam using his face. So the Damian thing was great. Randy against Gunther. I don't care anyone says. You put that on paper, that is a great match.
I'm with you.
In Berlin too, in Gunther's backyard. Please.
I'm with you.
Who else is Gunther gonna fight?
I mean,
Gunther right now don't have anybody.
No, because unless they would have done like a number one contenders like right away, right after, then maybe it would have been different. But this makes sense for it to happen because you don't want to give Damian Priest right away the rematch.
Yes,
I think you want him to focus on that story with that. It's not. I wouldn't even call it Civil War. It's pretty much you turn your back on me. That's it. And like how you were mentioning about Damian Priest's promo, how he got. I laughed because somebody in the WC community put, "Oh man, this guy sounds like Vin Diesel. Like he got his family now saying fucking family." I was like, "Fuck."
I mean, call it whatever the fuck you want. It's a good promo. You want to say it's Vin Diesel and Fast and the Furious? That's a $1 billion. That's a multi-billion-dollar franchise. I can think of worse things to emulate.
Okay, there's like Finn Balor, JDL, whole one of them was a tag team championship, and I got it. I keep forgetting they are. Yes. And what's going on, Getcho, who is now part of the Debate Network family? Get your podcast. Get your podcast.
So yeah, the other one. So the one I need to talk about. Bronson Reed. But it leads to, first of all, let's start off with the Drew and Punk thing. Punk and Seth, honestly, I was a little bit worried that we were going to finally get that one and Drew's going to be left to the wayside. They managed to reclaim that one and changed it up a little bit. And again, it was they gave us a little swerve. We thought it was going to be Punk and Seth. Drew comes in, fucks with him, pisses off Punk. Seth goes, I guess I ain't involved just yet. And out of nowhere comes the big man himself. Shout out to Abyss who wrote that segment, by the way.
Preach it. Let the people know about that one.
Bronson Reed gave poor Seth. You got a 300-pound man doing frog splashes off the top rope 5 times on Seth. Shout out to Seth for taking them L's. Because that looked painful. I don't care what Seth said. That looked like it hurt. So if we get Seth versus Bronson Reed, I am perfectly okay with it. If it's me, I book Seth to lose. Because the reason being is if Bronson Reed beats Seth, Bronson Reed's next opponent is shall we say, Braun Breaker.
Even Watchmen saying, even Uso is saying, my boy Bronson is about to wreak havoc, baby. Yes, exactly. He is.
Because think about it. Remember, Bronson Reed need to be built up to go after Braun Breaker.
And with the world of bronze, we have Braun Breaker, we have Braun Strowman, we have who else do we have? Shit.
Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. If Bronson Reed went after Braun Breaker, nobody would think Braun was going to lose that belt. If Braun killed Seth Rollins in the middle of his run, and then goes after Braun Breaker, then we got some drama. Because then we aren't sure Braun can win that. So, and I don't know about you, Braun Breaker versus Bronson Reed, that's a lot of meat getting thrown around.
Oh, yeah, baby. Even Justin saying that's how you make a monster.
Exactly. I'm with Justin. Yeah, like I said, I'm with Justin. Have Seth lose because Seth doesn't lose anything.
Oh, I like that. Gunther. Yes, I do want to see that again. But no, you guys, you're nearly the cop. Hell yeah. That's right. No, but you know what? Here's another thing too that about Bronson Reed that I love. We've been waiting for this man to do something like this and to give that attention. For God's sake, this man beat Okada at the G1.
Yeah.
This man beat him clean. And he fucking this Bronson was a killer in New Japan. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, keep in mind though, before he got let go the first time, he was getting built up pretty hard at NXT.
Yes, he was.
And then he got cut from NXT by you know who.
They have that piece of piece of shit.
And Bronson came back, and he came back to the main roster. And it just takes a while to build it back up, and they finally found a way to do it. It just took a while to get there. But let's face it, before that he was having a good. They put him in a 3-way match, and everybody was like, "Why is he in this 3-way? Because it don't make no sense." But they slowly include him into the IC matches, and everybody's like, "Why?" Well, this is why. I think they're building him to be him against Braun Breaker, because Braun needs somebody to fight. Because right now, ain't nobody on that roster ready. Based on that, you gonna give him Dragunov again?
I mean, that's really the only person that could really give him a fucking like a banger matchup. I mean, remember we saw the one on Raw, him and they fucking killed him.
Oh, I'm not arguing saying it's a bad thing, but at a certain point, Dragunov and Braun can't keep happening over and over again.
No, I'm with you because it'll get boring. Because then from there it's like, okay, same old shit. We'll look
but if we throw Big Boy in, we get some Bronson Reed action. Then we got some meat on meat.
Then who could we really build them up with? I mean, who could you like if we look at the Raw roster, Phil? Right now that's capable of getting into Braun Breaker? Who could you say?
At this point in time, there is no one on the roster I see being able to get him on the Raw roster right now. If you really wanted to have him go against someone, truth be told, it's going to be a while for someone to get built up. It's just they're just short on people. Like I said, they're just short. I mean, you could theoretically do the Miz, but that's a slaughter. No one's going to believe that one. So like I said, the problem is there isn't really anyone else. I mean, Bronson Reed is in line for it. I think he could do it. I mean, I keep mentioning him because he's the guy I want to do it. Like, honestly, I just want Bronson Reed to get a belt, period. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I just want Bronson Reed to get a belt.
Me too. I wanted him to at least have what fucking Braun Breaker has, the Intercontinental Championship, at least.
So at the very least, I say, because like as of right now, who would I give Braun to? That's a good question. I mean, right now there is the Sammy, like quote unquote, maybe. There is the Sammy, the Sammy rematch clause, which could probably happen.
That's true. What you did, he announced it. Remember, like that brought he said it on Raw. He was talking to Jimmy to Jey Uso. He told him, "Yeah, I'm gonna get my rematch. I booked it for next week."
Yeah,
so next week is gonna get his rematch.
So that's next week. I mean, theoretically, if you want him to fight someone, who would I would give him? I can't really. I mean, if you want to do, I mean, truth be told, I mean, it'll be a loss, but you can give him Otis. You can give him Otis.
Yeah, that's true. You give him Otis.
Otis isn't going to win, but Otis could be good. I mean, you could do Apollo Crews.
Baron Corbin. No. Wait, no. Apollo Crews is on SmackDown. So fuck, who could get him Raw? I mean, I'm looking at the Raw.
I mean, Baron Corbin wouldn't be bad either because they do have a history.
That's true.
So if we could get a Baron Corbin run, we can be a good call. But truth be told, I think that's about it.
It's hard. It's like
it is hard. Yeah, I mean, because truth be told, the person I'd want him to fight is still on the NXT roster,
and that's who Obafemi.
Obafemi.
I knew it.
Obafemi.
I fucking knew you were gonna say Obafemi. Oh my!
I mean, you could do that, but that's pretty much about it. But I don't really. I mean, right now, that's the roster itself is pretty clean. So at this point, he gets it for.
What about Karrion Kross?
But the question be why?
He Watchman saying, Usos saying, Oman. Oman. Okay.
I thought they cut him already.
No, he's still there. They haven't cut him yet. They just haven't used him. They haven't found anything to use him.
Okay.
So maybe so. I mean, who knows? I don't know. This is a tough one. What about
the problem is with Bobby Lashley leaving? So I was going to say Bobby, but that didn't.
What about Sheamus?
Yeah, he could do Sheamus.
I think we can start with Sheamus.
But I guess the question is, why would Sheamus want the IC title though? He's a world champion.
That's true.
He's going back. He would be going backwards though. But I mean, if they could find a way to roll Sheamus into it, that'd be good. But I mean, there really isn't. Well, I mean, there's a few guys they could probably push. But I think this is all building towards Braun versus Braun kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's even just saying Strowman, Braun versus Braun. I mean, might as well just fucking get that. I mean, we could just book. I would book it. Why the hell not? I mean,
it's not a bad call.
No, it's not a bad call. It's not. It will give something for him to do at least, So that's something that we could say, okay, perfect. All right, we got that going. I mean, shit. I don't know. It's a tough one. Everybody's saying Strowman. Yeah, the Battle of Brawns, baby. There you go. I see you have it. Okay,
that's at least two. That's two right there.
Now, did you like Finn Balor's promo on Raw?
I did, but then again, that smelled like. That's why I said it smelled like Bullet Club.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's why but it was a good package, though. It was good. They did a great photo. They did a great run. They did definitely a good lineup. So I was not upset with it at all. And that was the kind of that's the kind of thing I wanted to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. I mean, we just have to wait to see. Even Watchman saying for sure.
And at this point, people need to realize you can't trust Finn. we talk about the rattlesnake, and we talk about Randy. We can't trust Finn. How many factions had that man turned on already?
Fuck, how many has it not? Shit, how many has not turned on? That's a good point.
I mean, this isn't a rivalry, but I wouldn't mind seeing Carmelo Hayes go for the IC title.
Well, unless they, I don't know. That's a tough one, honestly. What the fuck they gonna do? It's really
because the run he been having with Andrade was pretty good, but I actually think him and Braun would be kind of fun. But I don't know.
What about him and Pete Dunne?
Well, Pete got Sheamus to worry about.
But what about Sheamus causing him the match, and that's how you add him?
Yeah, fair enough.
That could be. Yeah. Okay, so all right, now we got that. What? Man, the main event, the thing that we were dying to see, and we saw it. The debut of the White Six, the main event on Raw, and none of us knew who was going to compete in that 6-man tag. But one thing before we get into the match, we saw one thing backstage. Ivy Nile came back and, I don't know what's going on. Chad, what are you doing? Don't talk to her. So this is where we're seeing the transitioning of Ivy Nile going to heel.
Yep.
And be now with no longer Alpha Academy. This is now a different. It's gonna be. I don't know what the fuck he's gonna call it. The Creed Academy. I don't know. Is that what he's gonna call it? Or I don't know what the fuck he's gonna call it.
Oh, it's American made.
America. Fuck
yeah, they're American made.
Okay, that's fair enough. American made. Mm-hmm. See, the thing is, the reason to turn into Priest. There was supposed to be no leader in the Judgment Day, but Priest speaks like the boss of that faction. I mean, he did do that, and they went. I think Balor even went back to the SummerSlam one from last year. Remember when Finn Balor challenged, and then he lost because of fucking Damian Priest? So I know that was pretty much his karma. The Temple saying Finn and JD, Sammy, and Jay. That's gonna be next week on.
They were talking
2
about
weeks. It's gonna happen in 2 weeks. Up for this, Finn and JD versus Designated Frazier is one of the match I need to see for those tag team titles. Okay,
we'll see.
Okay. But man, tell me about the match itself, man. I was so. If you noticed that Eric Rowan broke character for a few seconds there when he was tapping Joe Gacy in the shoulder, whatever, like in the side ring, and he was smiling, and then I loved what he did. Wow, the Luke Harper tribute. Yeah. I just wish he could have done This Is Lariat, man. I would have cried more.
Truth be told, I was not sure how they were going to work this match. Because I was worried it was going to be a squash match for a main event and just have it be the Wyatt Six. And I was worried that was going to be how they did it. Because remember, that's how they did it for the Bludgeon Brothers, and that's how they did it for the Wyatt family the first time they came out.
That is true.
This was a competitive match. They did a really good job. I forgot how great Dexter Lumis is.
Right? Oh my God, preach it, brother, please.
It has literally been so long since we've seen Dexter Lumis show out. Like, literally, like, think about it. After NXT, he went on that terrible storyline with Miz. No offense to Miz. That just the stalker thing just did not make any sense. He was barely wrestling. It was just all gimmick.
Yes.
And then, which I mean, it is what it is. But I forgot how good that man is. He did a very good job. Joe Gacy, another one who I forgot to see, who I forgot how good he was. Literally, people sleep on him all the time. He did a really good job, like you said. And honestly, Eric, Big Red, he was just, like I said, he was genuinely having a good time. And they did a good job with him. I like the fact that, they had Uncle Howdy and Sister Abigail sitting outside watching them. And honestly, even American Made, they did a great job in this match. So, like I said, it was a back and forth. It was definitely a main event, and they did a great job. But like I said, the Wyatt Six, like you said, we really wanted to see what they would do, which apparently part of their offense is throwing Dexter Lumis at people.
Yeah. It was, and Lumis looked incredible. Is that his? I swear, dude. Like, man, is that his real hair? Is that his fucking real hair? Because I'm curious about that shit.
I think he grew that out for him. I think he grew that out, and I was just, first of all, I mean,
oh my God.
I don't know. See, I thought Lumis and Gacy were a much better tag team.
I am with you. I think
not that I didn't like Rowan, but I thought Lumis and Gacy made a much more balanced tag team. So I wouldn't mind if they won the belts at least in a little bit. And honestly, I got no problem if Eric Rowan gets the IC. IC could take on Braun Breaker.
Ooh, I like that. I like
So,
that. What a streets! Oh, streets! What's going on?
Streets.
My man.
Yeah, but like I said, that main event, I ain't gonna lie, there were some feelings I was having during that match.
Dom was literally crying on Raw.
Because it was literally one of those, it took them so long to kind of come up with this gimmick that was both a tribute and, like, obviously Bo Dallas's dream as well.
Yep.
And it took them a very long time. And the fact that it came together so well, I mean, it was like dominoes. It, like, everything fell into place. And that match was a perfect example of it. Dexter Lumis looked great. Temple's right. Joe Gacy looked great as well. Eric Rowan looked great as well. He honestly, I'm surprised he wasn't even more emotional when that match started. Because truth be told, he's the one I'm most worried about, other than Bo, about how they would deal with this entire storyline.
But you feel like he'll be sort of set more back, or how do you feel?
Well, the problem is I still remember that line he said when they, how everyone got their own little vignette at the end. Like, every member of the Wyatt Six got that vignette. There's a line he says, "Who's going to miss me?" Now that all of his friends passed on, that right there stuck with me, and I always wondered, like, that's not acting. Like, that's how he really feels. So,
no, yeah, you're right.
So I do worry about, like, that this isn't fucking with him a little bit. Like, but I mean, he's a great wrestler already. So, and the fact that he's pretty much back in the same place where he pretty much got his start, where he was mentored to be great by two of his best friends, and now he's pretty much doing a tribute to him and doing this really cool gimmick. I'm really excited for see where Wyatt Six goes.
Yeah, I'm so stoked, and even I know that there was the crowd put it up there on social media, like right after when it was over, they all hugged, they were kind of emotional. I mean, it was. I mean, I don't mind the emotional, man, because I mean, why not? I was emotional. Shit, that man deserved to have that emotion.
I can't imagine the pressure it was leading up to that match. Like
Oh,
they're the main.
I would say more nervous. I don't know. I don't know if you feel the same. I think he was more
Yeah.
nervous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about it. It's the main event. It's their first debut as wrestlers. It's the first debut of the gimmick as wrestlers. So they got to sell all these things. There's also American Made, which is honestly a brand new team as well. And even if they did practice it beforehand, they're still like they're still a little bit rusty. So we don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's the beginning of it. I mean, I know they got buried, but it is what it, I don't call it buried, but at least they got a story. Oh, yeah, the word.
Well, no, because think about it. That was a solid match. They lost, but they didn't lose much. Because think about it, storyline wise, they're like freaking out because they just lost. But the Wide Six looks good. They American Made, they looked good. So I don't know if anyone got buried per se.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't see it either. I mean,
but to your point, next week will tell us what happens. Because if the team breaks up, yeah, they got buried. If the team keeps going, then they'll use that.
Yeah. No,
I mean, Chad might use it to become a bigger asshole than he already is.
That's what I feel. He's gonna be doing that shit. All right. Before we get to pro wrestling news, we got one more thing on WWE. Well, it's still a lot more. I'm telling you, we got a lot to talk about, folks. So we're covering as much as we can do here, and let's talk about let's let the SmackDown. What's the preview of this? What's going to happen? What is going to happen? We did see what happened past Friday. Jay Cargill and Bianca Belair they got screwed, but they got the cues, or they should get the tag team title shots. What's going to be next for Andrade and Carmelo? Now that we already know they've been having banger matches on fucking SmackDown. Shout out to those both two men. What's going to happen now with Roman returning tomorrow on SmackDown, and what's he going to say? And where's Paul Heyman on this? So like, where's Paul Heyman?
I mean,
what's going to be next for that?
I'll be honest with you. If it's me, the first segment is Cody coming out, Roman looking at him in the face, and then just leaving.
You don't want him to do this?
What do you guys want to talk about?
First of all, right now we got to see if Paul Heyman is still alive. Because, like, if Roman comes back, does he come back with Paul Heyman?
That's a good question.
That's the thing, because, like, technically, for all intents and purposes, Roman's a face, and Paul don't advocate for faces these days. So I don't know. I mean, what I'm curious about is, like I said, we're all waiting for the fallout from the Bloodline storyline, which got real interesting. Right now, I want to see if Tiffany Stratton decides to screw over a girl and go after Nia. Carmelo and Andrade, like you said, banger after banger.
Yeah, baby. That was a banger.
The Bloodline themselves, I'm curious to see what happens there. Because right now, that is a giant storyline that just got more complicated and more messy.
Let me ask you this, because a lot of people feel this way, and people want to comment as well. I want to hear you guys out. Do you feel that that storyline is burying Cody's championship ring? Do you feel that way or no?
Here's the problem with that storyline. The storyline works fine. The problem is that faces as champions never really outshine the heels. And I know people might disagree, but Rock versus Triple H, as great as a rivalry that was, people don't remember a lot of the Triple H segments. Not Triple H. They don't remember the Rock segments. They remember the Rock reacting to some of the Triple H shit that he did. The same with Stone Cold. When it was Stone Cold versus The Rock, in this case it was Stone Cold versus The Rock and Stone Cold versus Triple H. they were good guys, but truth be told, their big quote unquote shine was against their rivals. So do I think it's getting buried? No, I don't think. I think what we have is a storyline where at some point Cody will have to make a decision on what he needs to do about the bloodline, because right now he's been the happy-go-lucky champion, living in his free world, kind of like keeping the bloodline at arm's length. And at some point, he will need to deal with them. Because right now, it's starting to get messy. It may happen at War Games, or Survivor Series War Games. It may happen before then, but I don't think he's getting buried. I think what it is the fact that right now, everyone's saying the same thing. With all this bloodline stuff going on, what's Cody going to do?
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to know, what's Cody going to do?
You want to answer Temple's
really? Really?
Do you think he debuts on Friday?
The question is who does he debut with?
That is the question.
Does he debut? Do we get a larger bloodline, or do we get Roman with a fourth member? Because think about it. If you get Roman, the Usos, and Hikuleo versus Solo, Tama and Loa versus Jacob Fatu, that's your bloodline storyline, and we don't need Cody.
Where do you put Cody on this situation?
Cody's not. Like, that's the thing. Cody does not need to be in this situation, and Cody gets to be the champion above it all. The bloodlines have below him, and I don't know who Cody has to fight after that, but at that point, Cody's not even in the storyline anymore. That's why I said Cody's not getting buried, because he's not really a part of that storyline anymore. He's just in it. Like, he's just passing through.
That makes sense. No, you're right.
I mean, but think about it. And I know that might sound weird because he's the champion, so everything should revolve around him. I don't think so.
No, you're right. It doesn't have to. It's just, you know, what will you do with him then? That's the case. I mean, since you're separating that from away from this situation, that's the question.
Well, right now I'm trying to figure out who the SmackDown roster is, and I can't really think of anybody. But
I mean, the only person I could really think of in this case would be Randy Orton, or Kevin Owens. You know, like, hey, you know what? Let me get my shot. You know, I backed you up. Now I think it's my turn type of style. Randy Orton, maybe. Hey, maybe I took it. You know, you have someone that took you under his wing with the legacy, you know, situation. Or, you know, unless they bring The Rock in this situation and then have him like, okay, no, Roman, you're gonna focus on, you know, on my bloodline while I focus on getting that title to the real bloodline. Unless people do that, I mean, that's probably there's a lot of they could do it.
I mean, truth be told, at this point, Cody versus The Rock wouldn't be out of line. Because think about it, if it's Hikuleo and not The Rock doesn't need to be involved in that storyline. The Rock could just go, we got unfinished business, Cody. Okay. I mean, you can. That's not a bad call.
No, you're right. I mean, there's so much shit you can do with this shit. There's so much.
But yeah, I'm trying to, like I said, I'm looking at the roster right now. Truth be told, there really isn't anyone I'd put him against other than, like, say, I put him against The Rock.
Yeah, there really isn't nobody that huge that I could say, or unless they make. Fuck, this is a tough one, man. I mean, I would even say Andrade. Shit, I don't give Andrade a shot. I mean, something.
You could honestly make him Cena's retirement match too.
Oh, that's right. What if it's like? That's true. You're right.
At least
the torch.
Yeah, at least for Backlash, you can make him Cena's retirement match.
Okay, more maybe even a Survivor Series.
Yeah.
See, look, even my boy who's right here watching saying Andrade. Why not? I don't mind Andrade to have.
Andrade would be fine. Like I said, that's a level he could definitely sit on. So, I know his father-in-law wouldn't mind.
I know his wife wouldn't mind because look, I brought him back for you guys. We better give him some shots and shit. You never know. But I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. All right. Now we got the news, folks, and it's debate of the week time. We haven't done this, but it's debate of the week. And here we go. It's debate time, folks, because there's news here. Rumor. We're gonna start with this one. Rumor in your windows. Rumor in your windows, folks, that Lucha Brothers have been really extending far away from re-sign with AEW. They're like, oh, we'll get back to you. We'll figure it out. Oh, I'll get back to you. We'll figure it out. I'll get back to you. We'll figure it out. There's room. And just to clarify, everybody, we're not Sean Ross Sapp. We're not the piece of shit fucking Meltzer and piece of shit Alvarez. We're not Wade Keller. We're not none of those guys. We are our opinion. We're analysts. That's what we are. Professional wrestling analysts. All right. We're the Stephen A's. We're the man. Shit.
First of all,
I'm not mentioning the other guy's name. You know, I am not gonna mention his name because he's gone. He's gone from Fox. So bye. We Mark, Chris Broussard. We could be the bucket. Nick Wright. I don't care. Shit. I'm not gonna mention the other guy's name. Too bad. Okay. But this one here is Lucha Brothers. Rumor in your window, folks. In the window. Okay, the window that they're gonna go to WWE route, heading to that direction. If that does happen, man, if that does really happen,
Shit's about to hit the fan.
It's gonna hit the fan. But if that is the truth, shout out to Jordan, Double J, the real Double J, right here, World Elite, World
J2.
That's right, J2, baby. But if it is true, Pepsi Phil, was this the right decision for them to go? And if let's say they do, where do you see them heading to? Main roster, NXT first. Would this really help the tag team division? I'm going to mention one more after this one that we have, because that one's not official yet, but I wanted to do it separately. That's why I wanted to bring them up first. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, they are main roster ready. They need no development as far as I heard. Maybe they need a couple of months just to get used to the camera work and the production stuff. Well, you can learn that on the main roster. They have been around long enough. They are definitely expert. And truth be told, my argument one, legitimately, they could add some love to the tag team division. Like, they need someone like these guys. Because no offense, the days of the Usos and the New Day have gone by. And like I said, they're not really like the tag team juggernauts they used to be. Bringing these guys in as a true tag team is what they need. Because that division has pretty much been decimated. Yeah, if they do, based on the secondary rumor that's probably coming up next, that's the match I want to see. But right now, if it's me, I'm putting them on SmackDown. Maybe, I mean, I can see them on Raw because Raw needs tag teams, but because I think SmackDown's pretty roster heavy right now. But Raw, having them on Raw during the Netflix era would be amazing.
Let's fucking go.
So for me, I think they go to main roster immediately. Like I said, it's still up in the air. All they said was that they're not re-signing with AEW and they're having conversations with WWE. They still have a pretty strong connection to lucha wrestling in Mexico. They have a huge, huge connection to Japan. So they could pretty much be independents for a while and not worry about it at all.
I'm with you on that. And I know Tempo's saying that not to have them join Legado or LWO, have them as NXT first, as NXT needs their tag teams. I'm with you on that. And, Justin saying Phoenix and Penta are more likely going to always have their dream to be in WWE, and now that Triple H is in charge, they know they have a better odds of exceeding there than the old man was there. I agreed, which is why they refused in the first place. They went with AEW before because they were offered. When they were offered the WWE, they said no because that's when Tony Khan was already, having AEW starting. This is 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, and that's when they decided to go with AEW. Because McNugget, of course, was not going to do shit, but they were going to bury their asses. We already know that. But you're right, you're right when you said it, even like how Temple and Justin saying. And I know they just trademarked something too. I think either King and something. I got to see. They did something there. And I think they're gonna give Papa H the condition of one thing, and guess who is gonna get involved in this fucking deal? That is fucking Conan. Conan is gonna get involved in this shit.
I don't know.
There's a reason why though, Pepsi Phil. Because remember, they are still they're still AAA. They're still under contract with them. Both of them are. So they could, unless Conan be like, hey, you know what? If you're gonna sign these guys, you gotta allow them to come work for me. You gotta have them work with me until their contract's up. Then that's up to them to want to resign or not. They gonna have to. Papa H gonna have to do it. And not only that, Pepsi Phil. Remember a couple weeks ago when we talked about when WWE wanted to explore international need to work with other. This is the key right here for them to grab the Lucha Brothers here and then fucking have them really represent the international stars as WWE, as Conan can literally Conan could fucking really say to Tony Khan, fuck you, Tony Khan. I'm going to work with these guys because, hey, they're really trying to sponsor AAA. And this is the beginning of working an international relationship, forbidden door type of style, WWE with AAA. Because if they're still under contract with AAA, and then they decide to go to WWE and do and work over there, and at the same time allow getting Conan involved in this situation, it's kind of like the Julia situation. It's almost that type of way because, like, come on, Grasso was not gonna allow Julia just to leave like that. He gave Papa H the conditions. First of all, oh boy, she's gonna stick with me until you know the time what I say is right. That you can get her packing and go to the U.S. with you guys, and he granted that. This could be the same similarity situation that we could have Conan really kind of give Papa H and TKO that type of style. Well, this is the thing, and this is what I think, and this is how we should go with it. If I were Papa H, I would take advantage of this and say, fuck, you know what? Let's do it. Let him fucking work over there. We'll work over there and work with us too. Have him fucking start NXT. Why not? I know their main roster already. I'm with you on that. I just, like how Temple's saying about building the tag team division. If that's the case, why don't you just have them really brand anywhere? Go to SmackDown, go to Raw, go to NXT. Not to be on one brand. Help at least build those tag team divisions. I'm just saying.
No. I mean, I agree up to a point, but like I said, they haven't actually. I mean, honestly, their AAA stuff has been pretty light to begin with already.
Yep.
Like I said, they barely wrestle AEW and ROH. While I will admit they probably still have a working relationship with AAA, I don't know if it's a contract with AAA. So I'm just because they have all that is just them being able to visit. So my guess is you're probably half right. I think it'll be one of those we'll sign, but we want the right to be able to go do AAA stuff every so often, not all the time. I still don't think they need to be in NXT at all because honestly, other than because here's the thing, they show up at NXT, they're winning the belts day one, as far as I'm concerned. Don't matter. I don't want none of this rivalry or this waiting bullshit. I just want them to get called out because honestly, there is no one in that tag division at NXT who can hold a candle to them. I'm sorry, Action. I'm sorry, Nathan Frazier.
I was waiting for that to know that.
God bless you. Chase University, my bad. Sorry for the disrespect. No.
Oh,
what you gonna do? You gonna give it to Ethan Page in top 10? All due respect. So yeah, you can have them go to NXT, but 5 minutes after they land, they got to have a belt in their hand, or it doesn't make any sense. Think about it. You said it yourself. These are international champions. They have been champions in, if I'm not, in literally 4 different promotions. They have wrestled exactly. Like literally, it makes no sense to put them in NXT for me. These are, like I said, these are way beyond. Like if you want them to like run through NXT and get them tag belts, cool. Do I think it's a waste for them? Yeah.
But do you feel like it's not even a one time, let's say not for the belts, but just show up and have a match? Or you wouldn't have
I give them the same treatment AJ Styles did.
Okay. I mean, you got a valid point there. I'm not going to say you're wrong about that.
Think about it, man. AJ came in straight to the main roster. He ain't need that.
No, you're right.
They don't need that. Like, in all due respect to AJ, these guys have more belts and more promotions than AJ does. And that's only because AJ didn't have the opportunity. So, like I said, if it's me, I'm putting them on the main roster day one. And I'm having them beat Finn or whoever has the tag titles. Whoever got tag titles, watch your back.
I could just picture Lucha Brothers versus DIY.
That would be amazing. That would like that, right? That's the rivalry I'm waiting for.
Oh my god, I could just see them going versus DIY. I could see them even going. As much as people don't like them, but they're underrated, man. You know what? Pretty Deadly's underrated, man. I'll give them the credit.
Okay, but honestly, I can see them going against the New Day.
Even the New Day. Oh my god!
See, I can see them doing a good job against with New Day. I can see them doing a good job again. Truth be told, shit, I bring the Usos back together for them.
Oh hell yeah! Even like good shit, Guerrillas of Destiny right there. Shit, fuck yeah!
Exactly. So like I said, you literally do not need to put like the NXT is developmental, whether we like to admit it or not. As great as they are down there, and make no mistakes, they are great. It's still a developmental. It's half developmental program.
But here's the thing though, too, Pepsi Phil. I get your point about the them not NXT, but what about if they go there, right? Let's say the collide, them going to TNA or TNA bring their talents over there. Oh my god! I just want to go netty, but I'm holding it in. And even Oos right here saying push the tag team division. Yes, they need a push. They fucking need a push.
But NXT doesn't need a tag team. Barely has a tag team division.
Well, no, I'm not saying about the NXT. I'm talking about the main roster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just throw them up at the main roster. There's no point in having them going to NXT. Like there is not enough food for those guys on NXT versus the main roster, SmackDown and Raw.
I hope their punk asses.
And whatever you pay these guys, you do not want them just sitting around craft services waiting for a book.
And right, no, you're fucking right.
Because the thing about it is that they will like go, well, we can go now.
Yeah,
because they got history, they got places to go.
Dude, imagine them New Japan. Oh, exactly. In the World Tag League.
Exactly.
I'm going daddy.
So, like I said, these guys are different than most. Like, these guys are different. Like, they don't. While they do love WWE and that is a dream, truth be told, if you get them, they're like it's. We talked about this before. It's like getting getting a D1 athlete. You can't just have the guy sitting down waiting for his next run. You do a little bit of training and then you put him out. You send him out.
All right. Well, do you agree with these two gentlemen? Is what they're saying here in the chat? They're saying Rey Fenix is the next Rey Mysterio. Even Usos is agreeing with them.
Truth be told, either way, that lucha match would be amazing.
Retirement match. Oh God. Now, I mean, speaking of that tag team, but what about this tag team? We know that they're still finishing up their indies, but you know what I'm talking about. That's right. Motor City. Yeah. WWE bound.
As truth be told, I would definitely put this will sound terrible, but I'll put them in NXT.
What the fuck? Why? The fuck?
Honestly,
why?
They do not have the same experiences. They do not have the same level. And this is where it sounds insane, and I need people to ride with me for a little bit on this one.
Okay.
They don't have the same type of exposure that the Lucha Bros has.
What? Hey, what the fuck?
Think about it. They have done great work with TNA and the ROH and a little bit in Japan. Yes. But think about it this way. If you weigh their experiences, if you weigh the promotional work they have done, who do you think needs more training in the WWE style? The Lucha Bros or Motor City Machine Guns?
Motor City Machine Guns.
Exactly. So I would here's the thing. If they showed up on the main roster, would I be upset? No, I would not.
No.
A Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY, that's money. That is
Hell
100% money.
Hell yeah.
That is.
I love it.
That is 100% money right there. That is not something I'd be mad at, and no one would. That's great booking. Do I think it'll happen? I do not believe so. I think they will go to NXT first because I don't know. Because truth be told, I think that's where they will definitely blow up, and I think they will do a really good run. And I think it's just to get used to the WWE style. And again, honestly, and like I said, that is my guess. Honestly, am I right? Probably not. Triple H might have an entirely different system for this kind of thing.
I can't. It's kind of hard.
It is. You're right. It is a hard thing because, like, the Motor City Machine Guns are probably the third or fourth most decorated tag team in most divisions around the world. Like third or fourth, they are pretty much the most well-known tag teams in the Western Hemisphere.
They are.
No offense to Western Europe.
Nah, yes, no,
but 100%, they are probably in the top 5 of tag teams of all time. And here's the thing, I put them above, and before I get pissed, I put them above the Young Bucks.
Ooh,
I put them above the Young Bucks.
I want people to be like, what?
Tell me he didn't just say that.
He said it, and I don't mind it because I agree. I am not disagreeing.
So so as far as I'm concerned, they could be their main roster. I just don't know if WWE sees it. But then again, because truth be told, the reason I'm saying that is because it should not have taken WWE this long. Granted, it's not really Triple H's fault. For Motor City Machine Guns to go to WWE. The moment their contract ended with TNA, they should have been like on the phone, or at least somebody should have been calling them. Although at that point in time, I think that was when they were having some legal issues with the people at WWE, and like,
yes, it did.
So I can see the whole. But honestly, I would have had the Motor City Machine Guns a long time ago in WWE.
Unless they're making phone calls to former TNA.
I mean, truth be told, they also may not have wanted to do it based on like you said, like the Lucha Bros, they didn't want to work for Vince.
No, that's true. So that I'm with you. They probably waited for the right time when Papa H fully took control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then that's when they fucking got the call. They made the call. Come on, who works in was former TNA? Who's the
exactly
Abyss, Jeremy Borash, AJ Styles.
Yeah,
3 guys there. Bobby Roode, another one that is there. Frankie Kazarian was just there, and he's praising fucking NXT, and he's seen his old buddies there. Hey, what's up, pal? Like, yeah, like. You gonna tell me they did not get reference? Hey, you should. Why not?
So everything I just said is perfectly valid. Now here's
it's valid. It's valid.
Now here's the thing that someone else has to remember: the NXT is theoretically a developmental program, right?
Even Justice saying
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. So here's the thing: I will say though, if Triple H want NXT to be still somewhat developmental, like 50-50 developmental, but still its own brand based on the pay-per-views they have. Yeah, put Motor City Machine Guns there because they can build your tag team division. You can build it like you, and this is something you mentioned. You can build your tag team division around this team and the Lucha Bros.
I agree.
You can
not only that, Pepsi Phil, but think about this: them being a mystery tag team opponents versus Axiom and Frazier. Can we see that or No Mercy?
Yeah, so like I said, it's possible if your new plans of moving to CW, which they do come up in October, and you want to build a tag team division, the Motor City Machine Guns are great guys to build your tag team around, or the Lucha Bros as well. And then you can still do your NXT developmental guys, build your tag team at NXT, and then move them up to the main roster, and they'd be good. And hopefully you've been building and even though we know that the main roster doesn't have great tag teams, they do still have a tag team presence. So Lucha Bros and Motor City Machine Guns waiting a little bit wouldn't hurt entirely, although I'm impatient. And let me put my Marks hat on. I'm not gonna lie. I need them to be I need a Lucha Bros Motor City Machine Guns match on SmackDown or Raw as quickly as possible.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
baby. You gotta give what Pepsi Phil wants. You gotta give it to him.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna be mad at that, but like either way, both those teams can be definitely be, yeah, exactly. Get your hit in perfectly. Like if
just
you
for this, right?
Yeah, just can do it's great. Catch it perfectly. You can build something around it.
See, he with you on this. You know, he's with you on that. I'm not disagreeing you.
It's like, I mean, the thing you have to remember is those two are probably, like I said, they are like legitimately, those two are locker room leaders.
They are.
They are legitimately and by example, not by like bossing people around. They lead by example. I have always loved the both of them. So they've always done great work together. Temple out here trying to hurt. Temple's trying to hurt my heart.
I know. He's saying if one American Alpha team
that would physically hurt me a little bit because I'm like, I would kill for that match.
Oh, Jason Jordan.
Kill for that one.
I know, man. Let's see. Resign Grizzle Young Man. Oh my.
They're in Japan right now, and I forget. I think they're in Japan on the G1. Oh
no, they're gonna be fighting at the Capital Collision.
Capital Collision. Thank you.
Yep.
So first of all, I don't know what happened when they left WWE. Their matches after they left have been incredible.
I still question what happened there. I wish I could interview them like us. We could interview them because I really want to know what the fuck happened there. What was it that they were not pushed? I still feel because remember they left during McNuggets era before.
I get it's the same reason FTR left.
There you go.
Grizzly Young Veteran are tag team. They are a tag team. They've been boys for as long as I can remember. And honestly, they don't like Vince back then did not like booking people as a team. Like he liked splitting them up because his theory was that if he didn't like one, he could get rid of that one and keep the other one. The thing is, they're tag teams. Exactly. They're tag teams in a traditional sense where like I ain't going anywhere without my boy.
Yeah.
Like you said, 3D did it. FTRs did it. Grizzly Young Veterans, same type of caliber. And honestly, even though Motor City Machine Gun, Motor City Machine Guns, even though they have had separate runs, they are still tag team players. Although, they have each one gold in their own right. So
well, I mean, I'm glad that they got their success as singles competitors, but they really, like how you mentioned, you're right. Like they really knocked it out as a tag team. Motor City Machine Guns, for me, really made not only them as a phenomenal, no pun intended, Styles, great tag team for the division in TNA, but also not only as well, but representation of the meaning of that name because where they're from. And people who are from Michigan, I'm not here to disrespect at all. That's not my thing. But my thing is, you had a representation, and you still have it here with this tag team. And to add them to WWE would really, really gives. This is where Papa H should really wake up and like, oh, they could be here, they could be there, they could be there. Like, wake them up and do that shit. Let's see. They became singles competitive because they've done.
And it's true.
It's true. You're right. You're right, Justin. You're right about that, Just. That's very, very true. But I'm excited, man. I just hope that we're seeing. I hope that Axiom and Frazier gets a mystery, opponents at No Mercy. If it is, we're singing right now here on August 8th at fucking 10:02 p.m. Eastern. 9:02 p.m. Central and 7:02.
And the thing you have to remember about the Motor City Machine Guns that people forget is they are hilarious.
They are. No, you're right.
They are very, very funny. They are entertaining, and they work well with almost anybody. That is true. Honestly, that is true because at this point, they almost have as many title runs as 3D.
That's very true. Yes, I agree. And I Chris was young, but
Simple. That is not in debate, brother. That is not a debate.
I'm not debating that. Hell no, you're on point, Temple. I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I want to talk about before we get into Dynamite was where do they go? Where do they go?
All of them except Sammy. All of them except Sammy fits in WWE.
Yep, because we got so far, Daniel Garcia hasn't re-signed yet. Ricky Starks is on his way pretty much out of leaving. Sammy they moved him to Ring of Honor. We talked about it off the air before we got on. And because and it's just once again based on what we read and everything, he didn't agree with the creative of Dynamite and decided to go to Ring of Honor and demoted himself. I wouldn't call it demotion, but I guess it is, whatever. But now, what the fuck does happen to these three future stars? Do you see Daniel Garcia resigning with AEW? Do you see Ricky Starks resigning? Do you see him leaving? Do you see Garcia leaving? Do you see Sammy? Do you see him leaving as in, okay, we're going to give you this much time and that's it. We're done. We're not going to resign you. You are too much chaos. You cause a lot of chaos, which we did mention a lot about him. There was his pros and cons that he's done in AEW. But remember we talked about this a while back. We said about Cody Rhodes bringing his people. He brought two people already. He brought Ethan Page and he brought Shawn Spears. And they're NXT and they're doing great. Ethan Page, your fucking NXT fucking champion. Ricky Starks is building. I mean, Shawn Spears, excuse me. He's getting stories now. So he's doing something there that I'm okay. We're going to see down the line that maybe Shawn Spears could be a North American champion. Who knows? We don't know. But these three men, where did they go or do they stay? So the floor is yours.
So here's the thing, and I'm going to before we start that, and I know fans, people bear with me.
You see, even I want to know.
here's the thing that people need to pay attention. These three guys, when they started AEW, remember they did a whole storyline. Maybe Daniel was a little late. These three guys were considered the pillars of AEW. Like these are AEW originals. Daniel Garcia came in a few months later, but he came in the exact same time. But these three became the heart and soul of quote unquote the original young quote unquote homegrown talent that AEW was supposedly building.
Yes, preach it.
They have all been replaced. Now, have they been replaced because they suck? No, just Sammy. But that may have been a little too hard.
So bloody.
So, but here's the thing: Daniel Garcia consistently shows up in matches. Ricky Starks showed up, did his job twice. Once against CM Punk. Once against
WWE will dump Sammy like Sammy dumped Pam.
Exactly. And Ricky got sidelined. They gave him a tag belt, but for the most part, he was sidelined. He's absolutely honestly, the dancing thing was Tony's. So I'm pretty sure he will. Because it didn't work with Disco Fever, it ain't gonna work with him. But truth be told, yeah, those two, Ricky Starks and Danny Garcia, would do great at NXT, in my opinion. I think that's where they should go. I know Danny Garcia, if I'm you, I'm holding off. I think you have enough experience that you could go to WWE easily. NXT first.
Yeah, NXT first. I don't see him in the roster.
Yeah, it's not that he can survive on the main roster. I think he would get buried if he showed up on the main roster.
He would get buried.
I think he'd get the Grayson Waller effect happen to him.
Thank you.
So,
well said, brother. Well said.
So, but I think he could probably. I mean, honestly, I don't know what the fuck Sammy's gonna do. But by and large, I mean, first of all, but props to him for. I mean, he can argue with the creative, but I still think, truth be told, he needs to grow up a little bit. Well, that's not true. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that. I haven't I haven't seen anything to show me that he's main roster ready for anybody.
You talk about Ricky Starks, you talk about Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing shows me that he can be a main roster for any promotion.
I'm with you on that. Which I know that you don't kind of want to say about his, like his maturity, but I do because like how just saying in the chat here, you said anyone that levels the toxic locker is a winner to me. For me, if you're able to really control Sammy to this level, that hey, now you're the big leagues. Which, like I said, I'm not this. We right here we critique and we opinionate about all promotions. We're not here taking. We're not building tribalism here. We're that's not our take. No, that's what we are. The fucking ESPN of professional wrestling and the Fox Sports of professional wrestling. Here for me is more like maturity is what he fucking needs. It's like, come on, how many fucking times, Pepsi Phil, has this man has been giving opportunities after opportunities after opportunities, and there's always a fuck up always behind because he doesn't hold his emotions. He doesn't know how to control his emotions. Like, how many deep shit did he get into? How many fucking times?
So I just want to clear for everybody, when we say mature, we don't mean like he's not an adult. He does not grown up. What we mean is there is a certain aesthetic to being a main roster, quote unquote, as what they like to say, what FTR likes to say, a top guy, as it were. I understand. Being a top guy, even a mid-card guy. And right now, I haven't seen that in Sammy. I mean, he's a great wrestler. I ain't gonna doubt that. He does great moves, great spots, great running. I have seen him in multiple matches and thought he's done a great job. His problem, or at least like you said, his issues have always been interpersonal.
Yeah, that's it. It's always been that shit.
Folks in the back, like even if you like his last mistake was him against Jeff Hardy. That is a happenstance mistake. That can that's just general sports action. I'm not going to fault him for that. You make a mistake, you make a mistake.
I'm with you on that. I'm not faulting him on that one.
But the problem was it was probably the final straw in the long line of shit he's done. I don't know what Miro's doing. Yeah, I think he's doing movies right now.
Well, right now that, and then he's heating up his injury. I wouldn't mind Miro going to New Japan either. Him and Henare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't blame him. So I don't know. Good luck to Wheeler.
Yeah, like the Wheeler. No.
I mean, honestly, I'd send Wheeler. If I'm Wheeler, I'm like, maybe I'll go to New Japan. But honestly, truth be told, those two should be there. And I'm back to Sammy. I'm sorry. With Sammy, it's just he's just I don't know. There are folks who are meant to be who start off as independent and eventually grow to be quote unquote mainstream corporate guys, which I know that sounds like that's not an insult. And there's some guys who are just who take a little longer to develop and are pretty much meant to be on the indies until they're done developing. That's the reason why Triple H talks about it. There are certain folks look at James Storm. James Storm is probably another one of those decorated wrestlers. That man was like, he has been everywhere. That man hated WWE.
Yeah, he did.
He was there literally for 3 days and said, "No, I ain't about this life." Yeah, that's not a bad thing. It's just that it wasn't a good fit. Yeah. So I think right now, we're in a situation where Sam may not be a good fit for AEW.
Just learned it.
That might be a subjective observation. I'm trying to be objective, my brother. I'm trying to be a little objective.
Oh man, it's just you know what? Like I said, the problem with Sammy is too much this shit.
It was at this moment Jackson knew he fucked up.
The problem is Sammy done had 700 of those. Or according what's our boy Dom say? 777 of those.
Yeah, like Dom said it. 777. Yeah, he doesn't have none of that. But it's like shit. It's just like you nailed everything to the coffin, Pepsi Phil. It's just there's nothing wrong with his in-ring abilities, his charisma that he has, anything. It's just his personality is where he needs to control that for him to be like as much as I don't want to compare him to this, I know I'm gonna get shit on, but it's damn fucking truth. But I mean, it's kind of like how it was like in the beginning for fucking Phil Brooks. He was the same way. He was the same way in the beginning. At the young prime of his career, when he was given that push, he was needy. He was all that like personal shit. Like, no, man, you gotta come down your ego a bit. You know, you're not. You gotta keep in mind. You gotta be a team player because it's a big product. That's
the big thing. Him being a team player. He got into a beef with Eddie, and he got a beef into Ricky Starks, who is a friend of his.
That's true.
So, like I said, those are two guys who I'm not saying you shouldn't get in a beef with them, but it doesn't make any sense to be beefing with them. So I just don't. Like I said, I don't know. And Ricky Starks, y'all know Cody. I mean, y'all know Cody's his boy. Y'all know Cody is his boy.
And what do you think he's going to go to? Where do you think that he's going to go to?
The thing about Ricky is he has the maturity that Sammy needs. He's a smart dude. He's like, I've seen him work, and like you said, when you see him does his thing, he's great.
Yeah, he's great, man. I don't disregard the guy. He's fucking awesome. It's just that's his problem. He needs to control that shit. Don't let the emotion of the best.
Yeah. And honestly, that's one of those things that you got to grow into. You can't just figure it doesn't happen overnight. Exactly. Randy was an asshole when he first started.
Yeah, he was. He was an asshole. I'm not hating on that. That's
Randy.
for sure.
Think about it. Randy main evented at a WrestleMania and got so drunk he missed the practice the day after.
Oh yeah, he did. He missed the rehearsal.
And it was with Undertaker.
Hey, you know, Mark Calloway does not tolerate that shit.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I mean, don't get me wrong,
Randy,
boy. Don't worry. It is one of, like Randy admits, it's one of the things he most regrets in his life. So for sure. So, but yeah, but like I said, it happens.
Yeah, man, I just, man, I don't know. Garcia. Okay, with Sammy, I got a bad feeling, and this is where it's gonna come down to. He's gonna go back to the Indies. Just like fucking Fuego is. And I love Fuego. Fuego is awesome. It's just that he had nothing after the push they gave him, and Tony Khan didn't have anything for him. His best friend, Fuego. And his crew is pretty much gone. Like, it was him, Fuego, and what's his name? He showed up for one collision. Short guy. What was his name?
Oh, I forgot about his entire crew.
Yeah, like remember the YouTube channel he had with all the crew?
All those guys are gone.
Because
Taya's still there. If that counts.
But Taya is I can't include her in this one because she's a woman and she what is it? Yes, Randy fell asleep during his. Oh my God, he did. So I can't with Taya. Because she's at least trying, and she really, really pushed herself to be somewhere where she's at in her career. So I can't include her in this one. Okay, I mean, this one I could say how you said that. Yeah, she fucked up for fucking getting knocked up.
I don't think it's her getting knocked up that messed her up. I think messing with Sammy got her messed up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the knockout.
No, we don't get knocked up's easy. I mean, that's not a big deal. You can work that out. You can go to the gym, get yourself fixed. Look at Becky. She got pregnant, came back. Look at her. She's still the man. Yeah, so I think honestly, it's a situation where like being attached to Sammy is doing more damage to her career than we think. So I think it's less about her having a kid and more about being married to him.
No, you're right. Let's see. Sammy was only good in Lucha. Yes, also only thing he was good at. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, now it's time. You know what time it is, folks. It is that time. Because we need to.
What time is it?
Oh, it's Vader time.
It's time! It's time! It's Vader! Dynamite!
That's right! Dynamite that happened 48 hours ago, folks. And this is what we got here. right here, which we forgot to add one more match because, well, keep in mind, folks, they had traveling issues. Everything that happened, and I hope shout out to everybody in the East Coast. Hopefully, everybody's okay. I know what the whole weather conditions up in the East Coast. Just Georgia, Atlanta. It was the same county, same country. My apologies, but you know what I mean. Everybody in the East Coast. Hopefully, everybody's okay. Weather conditions delayed a lot of flights, so a lot of changes happened here, which is at least majority of them made it, but there was ones that didn't make it, and they didn't include the 6-man tag match they here in the card, but it was last minute, which was who was it? Orange Cassidy and FTR versus
the congratulations.
The congratulations. But this Dynamite was not bad. And shout out to our girl, Viva Van. Oh,
I didn't want to talk to you during that match because I knew what they was going to do to her.
I'm not gonna be here saying that I am not surprised that wasn't gonna happen. I knew it, but I was happy for our girl Viva Van. At least
she had some good moments in the match. She had some good moments. She definitely had a great. She had a great showing. I mean, honestly though, it's her third time on AEW. So,
but on Dynamite, always on Collision or on
that is true.
Dark
That is
Elevation
true.
Or Dark. But never on Dynamite. It's the first time.
I hope she gets another appearance on there and gets a chance to actually really show out. Because I know this was for Mariah May.
Oh my! Yeah. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get.
I'm saving that one. I'm saving that one for last.
Yeah, we're saving that one for last. We're just talking about the rest of the card. But I want to shout out really for Viva Van, man. Viva Van. Tony Khan. I've been saying this, and Goto, Tanahashi signed this woman for Stardom. I don't give a shit, or you better fucking do it. Do it!
That's fucking bullshit.
No, you're bullshit, Tony Khan. Because damn it, you need to build that women's division, which you have a stacked fucking roster. I'm glad what you're doing right in Ring of Honor. Shout out, because I talked about it last week. You gave Red Velvet, Red Velvet the women's television champion. Congratulations. That's cool. Awesome. I loved it. Viva is another one. SoCal, baby. Love that girl. That girl deserves to get signed. She has done everything. She was on the New Japan Fantastic Mania for the vacated women's championship. She's done. I can vouch for the women all day. But I just wanted to digress that. And shout out to our boy Brian Keith as well. Great matchup that he had with, Shibata. Awesome. Loved it. Glad that he's getting momentum on Dynamite. Another man. Thank God. Two people that I am close to that I see them shout out PCW Ultra, and, they did fantastically. I'm so happy for them. And, man, and then seeing, opening talk about the opening matchup here. Oh, my God. Talk about that. Oh, man. Kyle Fletcher got the people going, and it got me going. I was like, yeah, baby, let's fucking go. But, man, yeah. I was like, damn it, man. I was mad. But he lost. It was cool. Oh, yeah. Shout out to, yes, that's right. Shout out to all the Vietnamese homies. That's right. We love Viva Van. That's my homegirl right there. Viva is my homegirl. I love that woman so dearly. I wish her she did. We said on the awards, just Pepsi Phil had our awards last year, and who's going to be the one for this year, and we named her. And Brian Keith. And look what's happening, Phil. Our shit is coming to true fruition. Wonderful. I love it, man. I am loving it. Yes. Wonderful. Yes, I am. And
the only thing I feel bad about is I did sleep on Stephanie Vaquer, who's actually floating around that time too. So which I completely missed her.
I mean, it happens. We were overwhelmed with a lot of things, but it happens.
So this Dynamite was decent. The opening match, honestly, was good for what it was, because again, you built a lot of smoke for All In.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great job with that. Conveniently, they managed to lift the suspension on Britt Baker
Oh my god!
Woo! I remember the day they announced it. Everybody was like, "Fuck's wrong, MJF? He evil." So I was like,
yes, respectfully, Temple.
Mhm.
That's all I can tell you. But
yeah, I was just laughing. Everybody, as soon as they said it, I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a work." And everybody was taking it way too seriously. I have no idea why. And I think Blakely also thought it was. I think mine was separate from his. I think he thought it was I think he rightfully so. I think he thought it was a work for a different reason. But basically, long story short, is they need to build up Smoke, and they need to build up Adam coming back. So
yeah. Well, you heard. I mean, I don't know if it's true. I know we're going the side directly here, but Adam Cole is leaving. He's moving somewhere else, but alone, not with her.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, he's making the movies, but I think the movie he's making is in Europe somewhere. Temple, you are absolutely right. Same here, but I'll get to that one in a second.
Yeah, he will.
But anyway, MJF continues to be that asshole, and continues to pretty much put some shine on that match, that all-in match that people underestimated and didn't think much of when it first got announced. And right now, I don't even know who this heel is, but this feels like old school 80s heel talking about I beat Ospreay in 30 seconds and I was perfectly fine. So, and the fact that he's going around being the American champion, beating up champions, beating up people around the world is actually pretty cool. So, and poor Kyle Fletcher had to take the L for everybody. Did a great job in his match as well. So, and again, the fact that MJF called him a wannabe Ospreay is still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So, but yeah, so all in all, Dynamite was really good. Brian Keith did great. Mariah May, again, is selling herself as the heel to beat. I'm enjoying the rivalry between there. To Justice at Getcho's comments, Jarrett and Danielson that actually happened. So it was a good match for what it was. I wasn't that sold on it, and I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I think they wanted us to. But it is. I will say, Swerve.
Wait! What? You didn't enjoy the main event? Why would you? Okay, before you even answer that question, I want to tell you this. And you know me, I am not a Double J fucking. I don't like that man. I just don't. But I'll give him credit where credit is due. He did a great job in that main event. The way how he sold the heel out of his just everything, like his heel side, it was great. I mean, it was good to see that from he took out. It reminds me of the TNA, NWA TNA Jeff Jarrett in a way, which I didn't mind that. I am not the, but it was all right. I mean, I'm not saying it was awesome. I'm just saying it was awesome. It was great to see that. That's the level I'll go to. But you're more just saying it was all right. What? Wait a minute. What?
I mean, I thought it was. I mean, like I said, Danielson did a great job, but I just wasn't feeling the match. I don't know if it was just I'm having a bad day. What it was, I just wasn't feeling it. Like I said, I'm not. Like I said, this is still a subjective medium, and sometimes I'm having a moment. So that is next on my list of things to talk about. But first, Camille and Monet. I am just not feeling that one at all.
He say it, preach it.
I mean, like I said, I think I said it in the chat. That gimmick reminds me of a successful Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green.
Exactly. Maybe, I mean, I know it's supposed to be shades of like Shawn and Diesel, but I'm not feeling it, probably because Monet is just her characterizations are not working for me. The gimmick is not working for me. And I guess I'm just waiting for it to develop. Like at this point, I'm just waiting for it to develop. So hopefully it gets better, but I'm not feeling it. And that's just Camille's looking great though.
I know. I know you were on vacation. I mean, you were not here last week, but I did say this. I was like, oh no. I said this before you took the week off. This is when you left, and it was still me and Justin when you left early. I said my issue with this is like, and it's always been with Camille. She's great, but the problem is like the build that they didn't give her the right debut build is why I got upset with. You literally put her with two women just to make her dominant and whatever, and I was like, oh man, I get it. I'm not disregarding her potential or anything. It's just like, what the fuck? I just wish it was booked different for her. Yeah, you're right. It is like a Shawn Michaels Diesel type of shit, okay? Or you can even say Psycho Sid when he brought his second one command. But guess who's gonna be a Psycho Sid on this one though, Pepsi Phil, which I mentioned this when you left early. I said this is a build-up that we're gonna get for straight at Wembley, and who's gonna make her return? Who is from England? Yes?
Jamie?
That's right, baby. Who's gonna back up Britt Baker on this one? What do you think? Jamie Hayter. You know she's gonna come back. You know that's what's gonna happen.
I mean, honestly, that's a nice thing, but the problem is that I'm not really. Again, I'm still in the same thing where it's like I don't really understand this gimmick. I'm not really feeling this gimmick. And yeah, we talked about this before, Temple. Camille, they're doing it. Hopefully, they're going to do a better job than they did with Jade. But that's basically the same kind of momentum they're giving Camille.
I'm with you, and that's what I'm afraid of because that's why I said that he should have booked her fucking different instead of booking her like, yeah, just that's the only thing that I am afraid of is how you guys feel. It's like this is gonna be like a fucking burial, like type of shit. Like, okay, and then you're gonna make her that, that spoiled brat. Like, no, man, this fucking woman is awesome. You just gotta give her banger matches. These are too easy. Like, no, give the crowd to get intrigued of this woman because, come on, man, nobody fucking like, oh, hey, who are you again? Come on, man. I feel bad for her, man, but I'm with you though. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just a character for like with even Renee, so it's like okay, but it as much as we hate it though, but it's working. It's working. Why? Because she's supposed to be that WWE. I'm all WWE. I don't know about all this shit. I'm just saying that, and then that's where it can work with. I'm just saying. I know it gets on your nerves when you see her like, what kind of promo is this? I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that's the thing. Like her promos just aren't really like her promos don't feel like someone who's got two belts and got the big bad right standing next to her.
Okay.
So, and like I said, it's just it's not connecting with me. I will say, however, the promo that connected with me was Swerve's.
Preach it.
He did a great job on that. And I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't yelling. He just came off as really strong, like really confident. Like I believed every single thing he was saying. So I was, like I said, I was good with the concept, frankly.
Oh man, I love it because he's like, I want his legacy. His legacy is gonna be mine. I'm like, damn. You sounded like fucking McNugget there. It's mine. JR, by the way, looks people are saying he looks healthy. I hope he's okay. And he's
just fine. He's gone through treatment. He's on the mend. So it just takes him a while to bounce back.
I just, this should be his last fucking year as a commentator and be a more consultator and more like help fucking Tony Khan with this bullshit. I mean, let's see. You see, even Temple saying my hometown girl, Jimmy Hayter, comes back at all. And that's what I said about I'm with you. I see that happening at Wembley. Her making a save for Britt Baker. Britt Baker, we know what happened with her suspension. I don't want to bring that up because it's like, for what? And I don't give a shit. It's like, it is what it is. She's fighting for what she feels is right. I mean, people are entitled to their opinions. It is what it is on that of what she feels. And I heard Conan's. I need to hear the full of it. I don't know if you heard it, Phil, when he kind of mentioned that Britt was kind of the reason why Cody left because there was drama there too that I didn't know about, which I got to listen to it and I got to hear what he got to say about that. So I am not going to give my 2 cents on that. I just let that woman be. It just, she was the first fucking talent to be signed to AEW. If that woman has the right to speak, let her speak. So what? Let her be. But I don't know about the Cody thing. I don't know about that. That one I can't speak on until I hear it and then get a better understanding. Then I'll give my 2 cents on it. But other than that. But another thing that I want to hear you, Pepsi, on this one. And this is the one that I want to fucking bash on. Jack fucking Perry. All right. I'm going to bash that fucker. I don't give a shit. I am going to bash him. Yes.
Shit's about to hit the fan.
It's going to hit the fan because you know why? Because this asshole really did the whole... I'm not being... Clarify myself, folks. I am not being tribalism here. It just, for me, is like, it's like, hey, I like what I've been seeing here on this television. Let me try to do something like that similar. Sitting down in a chair, having looking like what it'd be like the Shredder from Ninja Turtles, having all those fucking TVs there and shit, and having the axe there right towards the end and smashing everything of it. And then really at the end, scapegoat. Get the fuck out of here, man. I know you were watching fucking Bray Wyatt's, but excuse me, my apologies. I apologize. Bo Dallas's and Wyatt's family's fucking storytelling cinema, how they're fucking doing it. Get the fuck out of here. You gonna tell me that you fucking didn't get the ideas of that and watching Ninja Turtles? Are you gonna tell me that I'm a jackass for saying that? I may be a jackass. I don't care. I'll accept it. But Pepsi Phil, tell me when you saw that promo. Did that remind you at least a little bit of Ninja Turtles when the Shredder fucking was there, the first Ninja Turtle movie? When he's all there sitting down and he's like,
okay, bear with me. This might be the next debate center. 2 things. There is no such thing as an original idea wrestling.
I know that.
Because as much as I love Bo Dallas and the Wild Six, they stole their shit from somebody else. So it ain't like they invented that shit either. They stole it, like you said. You mentioned it. They stole it from Shredder and the rest of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So ain't nobody clean. Jack Perry at least did it. And here's the thing. The most important factor is, unlike Timu Barbie in TNA, it works. It works. For anyone who doesn't know, Timu Barbie is Ash by Elegance.
I know
that was for everyone listening. But here's the thing. For Jack Perry, it works. It still worked. It's not yet. Is it done? It still worked. It did a great job. For the Jack Perry gimmick, that works. He's looking at himself, almost gets set on fire. He's looking at himself, gets set on fire. And then he starts talking about the things that you have to pay to get what you want. Long and short of it is that's what the scapegoat is. That is what the scapegoat is. So for me, that was a good promo.
Yeah, I'm not saying there was a bad promo. I'm just saying more about the way the cinematic is. This one I critiqued about.
Okay,
I mean, the promo, I'm not hating that, but you're right. You're right. You're right.
You got a fair opinion, but I mean, my thing is like, it's one thing if you copy it and it doesn't work. If it works, shit, okay. I mean, if it works, it works. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the hardest thing in the world is come with an original idea. But if you're gonna get a good idea, make it and sell it. And like I said, this gimmick right here allows him to do stuff like that because here's the thing. Everybody's mad about him. So him liberally going around doing stuff people expect and then being mad about it is what the scapegoat is all about.
No, it's true. I'm not denying that.
It's solid. I know FTR's on a semi break. So them coming back for the conglomeration was just them doing Tony a solid.
That was a good match, by the way. It was good.
It was a really good match. And honestly, I didn't think I'd ever enjoy seeing the FTR and Orange Cassidy team together, but they did a really good spot together.
I was waiting for them to all do the thumbnails like this, and then or the hug section. I was waiting for that, but it didn't happen.
So all in all, that was fine. And all in all, I gave this Dynamite B-, a high C. Honestly,
C+, you could say, pretty much.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, I'll give it a C+. I mean, I'll give it the same. I mean, the opening match was great. I mean, just the Swerve segment, I loved it. And I know people are saying that I'm hearing, and I want to hear your thoughts too. Is like, with this promo of Swerve, do you feel already, or how do you feel already about
this
now
promo?
Mm-hmm.
This promo has me feeling okay if Swerve beats Danielson.
That's what I wanted to hear. Okay,
that was the promo he needed to give to prove that he should beat Danielson. Like that was the promo you give when you go, I'm going to definitely retire somebody.
Danielson, whatever.
Yeah, but and so is that. And truth be told, not the Swerves needed. Beating Danielson and then going into Hangman, which obviously is his next match, will be a great setup for it, because then it becomes something that's huge. Okay. I'm the first black TNA, first AEW chip, black AEW. I retired Bryan Danielson, and now I get to fight Hangman.
Which brings you up the question with you now with that, because this is what I want you to see. This is what we have by far. We have that battle royal that you mentioned out there. We have, of course, the TNT title, Darby and Jack Perry. Will Ospreay and MJF for the US title now, you could say. You have Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné for the TNT TBS. You have Mariah versus Timeless Toni Storm for the women's. And now the main event. So you mentioned about Hangman. So do you feel that battle royal, the casino battle royal right there, you feel that Hangman might win that one to get his title shot?
I can see that being an option. But I mean, I could also see him interfering in Bryan Danielson and Daniel Bryan, whatever, Bryan Danielson Swerve.
It's Danielson, yeah.
The American Dragon versus Swerve match. I can see him interfering in that one, and then Swerve ends up having to like beat Bryan and then have to fight him.
Okay.
So I mean, the battle royal is the way AEW uses it. We should be excited because at the very least it promises at least one new person. But this is something that we can talk about and this is the one thing we can talk about. If it's me, Tony Khan has been so full of shit about one wrestler. And we all know which wrestler I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
His name is Konosuke Takeshita.
There you go.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
You don't take that bullshit.
Say it. That's right.
So the point is that if it's me, I have the battle royal happen, have Takeshita win, and have a Takeshita versus Swerve match for the championship.
Oh yes.
At the very least, because the problem is right now is Takeshita has no reason to stay at AEW. If anyone who's watching has watched his performance in the G1 Classic, it is a proven fact that man has a better push in his home than he does in AEW. And that might just be like, that might be a promotional thing. That might be the fact that Tony doesn't know how to book foreign talent, unless your name is Okada.
Like the
bitch.
Honestly, so yeah, if it's me, I have Takeshita win the battle royal. But if if it's Takeshita, I ain't coming back to AEW. I'm staying in New Japan.
Man, bro, I am so with you on that.
He just had, in my opinion, he's had like in the G1 Classic so far. He's had he's fought Yoda Tsuji, Jeff Cobb, El Phantasmo, Hiroki Goto. At least 3 of those 4 matches are 5-star matches, or at least close to 5-star matches.
No, they're 5-star.
They are.
I feel like all of them was 5-star.
Exactly. They are booking him beautifully over there. They're giving him major big pushes. And if it's me versus the respect I'm getting at AEW, Hell no, ain't coming back to America. You kiss my ass about that.
You kiss my ass. I ain't coming back.
The man is fighting two legends. He fought two legends already, a future legend, and a man who pretty much is a GOAT, Jeff Cobb.
That's right.
A future GOAT right there. Like, you telling me that you got that quality of matches in a span of what? 10 weeks? In 10 weeks versus who has he fought after he beat Kenny Omega? Who else? And pinned I'm sorry, who you know, and then literally for Ospreay, who are, if you'll keep in mind, they're like 6 months apart with those matches. Who have they given him in between that?
Nobody. They haven't given him the TNT belt.
No. Literally.
Or the international belt.
Exactly. They have not given that man anything, and he is constantly giving them what they needed in regards to a match, last minute, whatever. He beat Kenny, he beat Jericho. And then and literally did some of the most amazing, and has highlight reels left and right for them, and still nothing. Still no belt. Still not even a run for the championship.
Not even for the Continental when they had that fucking tournament. Tony Khan, what's up with that?
So yeah, me and Temple talked about it, and like I said, we went down a list of guys he was fighting in that. Like, even in the match he lost when Goto, and he lost that match, he looked stronger than he did in a win in AEW.
Oh no, he did. He fucking looks this strong.
So I don't know, man. Is my mark hat still on? Yes, it is. But do I think objectively Takeshita should be in a bigger place than he is right now? AEW, yeah,
that's right.
So
no, you're right. Hell yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, Tony Khan.
I cannot believe this shit.
I can't believe it. I know. I'm with you. I'm like, shit. This man deserved. See, like, this should have been right here.
It should have been me. It should have been me.
It should have been him. I'll tell you that. But I'll give you that.
I mean, if it's me, like I said, Takeshi already did his run around the world. And honestly, this is starting to feel like a lot like when Okada was at TNA back in the early 90s.
Great comparison.
They gave him that bullshit like Green Hornet gimmick.
Oh my
God. This is obviously a little bit different, obviously. But at the same time, he's basically just whenever they need somebody to wrestle.
Yeah.
So, like I said, honestly, this is the thing that most confounds me about the booking.
I'm with you on that, brother. Well said. Now, before we close it out, folks, right here is what we got happening on the next 24 to 48 hours. We got Rampage happening tomorrow. We got Darby Allin versus The Butcher. Saraya versus Nyla Rose. We got Wheeler Yuta with Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him, on commentary versus Rocky Romero, which I'm excited to see that. Private Party in action. And also we're going to hear from Dustin Rhodes, who is one half of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championship. And on Saturday, Collision, baby, we got a bull roll match happening between the rivalry of Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo. This is the fourth matchup. To see how
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot this existed. All due respect to both of them, I forgot this rivalry existed.
Yeah, I know, it's still going. You see, you see my digression. You see, and then we have the main event for Collision is for the number one contendership for the 6-man tag team championships, the trio championship for AEW. Christian Cage being the guest referee, really, which is going to be for the matchup Bang Bang, of course, the Bang Bang Gang versus the House of Black. We already know where this is going to go with, bro. This is going to be a fucking triple threat match at fucking Wembley. We know that shit. Christian Cage, like, he's going to fucking cost the match and do some bullshit. And you already know he's going to be doing that shit.
Say what you will, but the Patriarch and Christian Cage been putting people over since day one.
I'm not hating on it. I'm with you.
No, I'm not arguing. Yeah, but I'm just saying we got to acknowledge the fact that Christian Cage has been like when people fight him, they get put over.
You see, Chris Cage, we acknowledge it, right?
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his response anyway.
that would be a response. I mean, that will be a response.
What I'm looking for though is I pray to, and honestly, this is me choosing chaos.
Mm-hmm.
We all heard the rumors. If Shane McMahon comes to AEW, you know the rivalry I want. Shane versus Christian.
Oh my, yes.
How's your dad doing?
How's your father doing? You need a father figure. I already get figures. You know,
That's honestly this book. That's asshole booking right there. So, but yeah, all right, let's close it out, brother.
All right, we'll close it out. Yeah, man, we gotta close it out. But you know what? I know you know what? I want to ask you this question very quick. Yeah, you know what? Let me bring this guy up for a minute. I'm curious. I know we don't talk about it because we watch so much where we have to report to our audiences and let them know what the fuck's going on in the world of professional wrestling. But there's one guy that I want to know your thoughts on this man. If you've seen what he's been doing, I'm curious. I am really curious here. What the fuck are your thoughts of this man right here that I'm about to upload right here before we close it out? What the fuck is up with this guy? I was just waiting for you.
So here's the thing. I will not argue. The dude can wrestle.
Okay. Oh, Lennox, my man. What's going on, brother?
That's Lennox. His gimmick reminds me a little too much like 1980s WCW.
Please remind him of who? Remind him of who, because I already know who you're gonna go with. But
I can't remember his name. He was like the dude from the future who came back to the past.
Yes,
what the fuck was? I can't remember what his name is right now.
I know.
They did two storylines. It was him, and then all of a sudden he was followed to the past by two other dudes from the future.
Oh shit! I knew it.
Even before I knew what kayfabe was, I was like, "This is bullshit." And keep in mind, I'm from the generation that accepted Sting and RoboCop having a crossover.
But I mean, if we go back at our time, Pepsi, I know you're older than me, but I mean, when we go back, it's different. This is a different era, though. But I mean, we can't compare that. I mean, it's different. We were at a young prime. You were in the teenage age, of course. That hot time at that time was RoboCop, of course.
Yeah,
but this is different. But I know, like, what the fuck? They show the promo video of him running into a portal, and there I am, hologram. What the fuck is that?
To this day, I have no idea who that dude was in the past, and that we saw on WCW. And hologram reminds me of that. The only reason this dude is getting over is, and rightfully so, is because he's a brilliant wrestler. He's a brilliant lucha dude, and he is great. But every time I see that man's name, I change the channel out of sheer spite and on principle. I left WWF because they had characters like that. At a certain point, I could not handle it because that was just ridiculous. So is he a good wrestler? Yeah. Is he a good lucha? Hell yeah. Do I want to see him wrestle? Absolutely not.
Oh man, I knew it. It's kind of hard to see a crowd chanting hologram, hologram. Like, what the fuck is that? Why? Like, you're gonna have the kids asking, "What's a hologram?"
They know. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't think it's the right gimmick for him.
I know it's not. I know it's not. All right, let's fucking now close it up. But wait, breaking news! What the? Oh shit! There you go. Now we know what they're doing. Collision. Tomohiro Ishii, Tanahashi, Robbie Eagles, and Bad Dude Tito. Our man Bad Dude Tito we had here on the show and the Grizzled Young Veterans in a fucking 3-way fucking #1 contendership for the strong for the championship. Uh-oh. Can we give the Grizzled Young Veterans this matchup? Fuck.
Honestly, I would probably pick Grizzled Young Veteran on this one.
I love that.
I love Robbie. I love Robbie Eagles and Bad Dude Tito, but obviously Tanahashi's not. I don't think Tanahashi Ishii gonna win. But honestly, Grizzled Young Veterans would be a really good get for them. I think if you want to, because like right now, I think if right now, and honestly, Temple could probably, if Temple's not asleep right now, having your champions in New Japan Pro Wrestling take their champions back from foreigners seems to have been the storyline for this year. So I am pretty good with. I'm okay with Grizzled Young Veteran winning a night, and then going to Japan and losing it at the next pay-per-view, whatever in New Japan has coming up next. And also, screw it, Grizzled Young Veterans just great wrestlers.
Fuck yeah, they are. You know what we forgot to mention on Raw that I know people are gonna be like, why you guys didn't mention about Odyssey?
Odyssey Jones.
I mean, fuck. I mean, what can we say about him? I mean, he finally showed the fuck up. That's all we can say. I mean, I had to wait till next week, folks, to see what we'll talk about that. Then we'll give you our details. Yeah. And then also TNA today just had Dante Chen arrived in an Impact Zone and NXT. From NXT, Dante Chen showed up. Okay. All right, we'll talk about that next week, folks. But you know what? It's about that time, folks. You know it is about that time. It is. Here we go.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
It is about that time, folks, and we're rolling the F out of here. But we appreciate you all for tuning in today here. Remember, I know they're like, damn, why they? But because we do this once a week. We cover everything that's happening in the world of professional wrestling once a week. And we don't do it on a daily basis. That's what we have. You know, we shout out to, of course, Raw Talking with Dom and Friends with Benefits. Every Monday, catch them on Monday Raw. And you also have the Redeemer and the Man of 1,000 Words Bakley covering Tuesdays for you for NXT. Every Tuesday, watch along with them. They host it alongside. And Wednesdays, sometimes it could be, the New Japan, the Dojo Debate coming up, covering up the remaining last days of the New Japan coming up, which will be night 13th to 16th coming up next week. And then the playoffs will start because that's where there's a lot of shit happening in the world of professional wrestling.
Elimination, baby. Elimination.
I can't wait. There's a lot of things. And also, you do have on Game Breaker Sports. Shout out to Tim King and the crew. They do the Dynamite watch-alongs every Wednesday at Game Breaker Sports. You also don't forget to go to the website, GameBreakerSports.com, to get all your pro wrestling news, sports news, anything that they provide you in their website, GameBreakerSports.com. You catch us there as well. Circle the Bay. You catch Pepsi Phil, myself there. We're giving here what we're doing here. But we're here on Thursday. This Saturday, hopefully, we'll have TRWT coming back this Saturday. If not, it'll be Gaming with Dom. There's a lot of things happening here in this channel, folks, and we appreciate all of you guys for continuing to subscribe and following and listening to us on audio platforms. Shout out to Spain. Have it is right there still on the top 5 on their audio platforms. España, gracias por todo el apoyo y corazón. Shout out to everybody in Europe as well that you guys have us on your top 20, which is there. So then thank you for that, for audio listeners, for everything. You're listening to either on Spotify, either Spreaker, or on iHeartRadio. You're listening to us, or on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate you all for tuning in. We'll be back here next week, of course, with the Redeemer, recapping anything in the world of professional wrestling. And if there's anything that news that will come up, either Pepsi Phil, myself, or anybody will give you that news and break it down for you guys. But of course, we got one more thing. Do not forget, the attorney at law, folks, that really fights for you here. He is right here. Pepsi Phil Hathaway Esquire. Because you already know, folks, if you're stuck taking a shit for a long time, you can't get out of the toilet, or you're taking a long ass piss, or your girlfriend's cheating on you, or you can't finish your damn fucking tall boy beer, or you can't finish your homework, Call Pepsi Phil Esquire at 1-900-MUSA-NIBI. Remember, he charges $3.99 for consultation fees. Make sure, because this man will fight for you. And don't forget that, of course, this is brought to you by, of course, not only by the Top Row Super Talk, but also Circle Debate. Make sure that he'll give you, we're not responsible for he's giving you the right kind of Pepsi. So make sure, call him today. Well, that's right. Call him today. Ain't that right? Woo. But let them know where they can follow you, my brother. Tell them where they can find you on your social media platform, even though you're on Linktree already, but tell people where they can find you, regardless.
Instagram. Anything you need, art, writings, you let me know. I do a bunch of reviews and other comps. Take a look at it. My Instagram is PhilipJP24601. Just swing by there, check the profile. You get the link tree to see everything else. But Instagram is pretty much my main haunt when I'm not on Circle of Debate.
That is right, folks. You already know where you can find our Pepsi Phil, our attorney at law here. Until then, you already know. But just don't piss him off, because not Pepsi Phil is going to tell you this is Spanish, all right?
¡Eh, cabrón! ¡Chinga tu madre!
I didn't know he spoke Spanish. I didn't know he spoke Spanish.
And he spoke Spanish. Well, see, he had a good banger match with CML, by the way. I saw that shit. I was like, yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, he being a disrespectful American.
Oh man, even Pac too. Pac had a fucking awesome match.
Yeah.
There's some. See, that's what we do here, folks. That's why we are the ESPN and Fox Sports of professional wrestling. We are your Nick Wright, your Chris Broussard, Stephen A. Smith. You could say, well, yes, we're your Shannon Sharp. I'm not mentioning the other guy because you already know what happened to him. He went bye. You seen Deadpool? You already know what I'm talking about. So, but I'm not talking about that, man. But until then, folks, you already know here, Pepsi Phil, myself, and the whole crew of the Debate Network, we don't just do podcasts and artwork, music, all of that. We fucking make history. Until then, goodbye, au revoir, good night. Peace, folks.
Must bid you adieu, a goodbye, mwah, and good night. Oh my God, it's over. Will over and over. Make over and over. History over and over and over and over.